Alright, so we had some thing I had to go grab real quick, so that's why I switched it back. But we're getting ready to go. Right now I'm crafting a weapon. Because I need an Assault Ragnarok. I have one already, but it's only +3. So I need to make one real quick. And I don't plan on doing it on stream. Hey Omni1, how you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. So I think we're gonna go do a little bit of arena while we wait to see more folks show up. I really wanted to take my Delita for a spin, but unfortunately I have this weapon, which is still good for him, but I want this to be... I have enough to make a +5 assault. I don't think I have enough to make 2 +5s. But I think I really want that +5 magic, even though I kind of already spent some books on it. But that's okay, you know. It's just time, right? So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna go take our boy for a spin. I think we're gonna go mess around a little bit. So let's mess around. Let's put our boy Delita in there. Wow, that's not good, the fact that he's a D. I don't think he's ready then, huh? He is definitely not ready. But for the sake of messing around, let's just take him anyways. He's gonna get one-shotted, to be honest. I don't think he's ready. No, he is not. Yeah, I'm going for the Coral Sword. I'm gonna do a little farming, but I'm gonna do a couple of arena matches, and then we're gonna get it started here. Let's see, what do I want him to be using this? I suppose Odin will work. I think we definitely want some attack, so he has that. I don't want a healer, I want another attacker. So I think I want him to have Excalibur for sure, and then he can have this sword. He can he'll use that. Yeah, I'm gonna create a room shortly here, then we can get some folks to come join, hang out, and get it going here. So I want that. I want slash attack. I want this to be defense. Did you guys notice I don't have defensive Esper on this account at all? Oh wow, you are... Congratulations, that's pretty sweet. How long did you farm for that? Was it a long time? I mean, you got it done in 1 day? Oh, no, what am I saying? Today's Thursday, right? You got it done in 2 days. That's pretty impressive. I started farming for a little bit earlier, but I only got, I think, 12 recipes. So not a lot. I'm just trying to figure out what to give to him here. I think I'm gonna go for slash resistance actually, because that's what I have him on right there, slash resistance. So let's do it. Let's take him out for a spin. Let's go after some. No, okay. We're gonna go for an easy fight here, right? I know, guys. I'm getting kind of weak. This is going for an easy fight. I want him to. I just see him in combat, right? Yeah, drop rates have been pretty bad. I feel like I think I did like 13 runs straight with no recipes. So I zoomed out for you guys a little bit. Let's see the action. Come on. The problem with Delita right now is, see, look at that. That's good damage, right? He does a lot of damage. Delita does tons of damage. And of course, he dies easily too. But I don't have good gear on him yet because his efficiency is not there. I had to get that easy win there, guys. Sorry. Easy win. He's just not ready for Arena. I think maybe another few more days. Because I want him to be getting his efficiency up. And that, oh my goodness, excuse me. That's hard to do because he has to take hits and he has to deal hits. So unless I'm sitting him out by himself farming, that might seem kind of rough. We're gonna have to go for little easy teams. We gotta go pick up those easy teams. Wow, he didn't kill him. I'm surprised. Get up to the middle. There you go. Crush accessories. That's a good skill because he gains AP back. Did he do meditate? I need to keep an eye on that. I wanted him to do the stop move. Yeah, he's definitely going after ice unit. That's who he should be attacking. Ice units, right? These are some easy wins, unfortunately, because where I am in ranking isn't very high, so. Let's just go after some Agrius. Let's just, oh, there we go. Let's find this guy. I'll probably get killed on this one, though. Can we find some Agrius, please? Do we have to settle? Something like this. Wish you can just type it in the search screen here and be like, I'm looking for some Agrius. Looks like I have to fight some strong teams. There's a lot of gunner for this map, even though, here we go. Let's do it. Let's go and, yeah, this is a pretty good matchup here. Because my guy is not very high level, right? As you guys see, he's not very high leveled, so. Hope you guys are having a good night, by the way. I took a little nap earlier, so. Feeling pretty good. I just want to see if he does his meditate, because I have him set up. There it is. That's such a good skill. Oh, I got disabled. Ooh. Wait a second. How come that hollow bolt didn't get both of them? Jamming edge didn't do any damage. This Able is OP, man. You literally just stand around, you do nothing. See? You just literally do nothing. Oh, wow. Stopped in the tracks. That's like a beatdown, right? You stop them and then you just beat them down. That's so mean. Wait a second, how did he get 2 hits in? Jeez. Did he just lap me? Don't tell me I'm gonna lose to him. Come on, get a sleep in there. Oh, I got courage. What's it looking like now? Still looking alright. Ah. Yeah, that's a shame. I got disabled early on, or else I probably wouldn't have really lost that one. And Orlando, my Orlando, he was just, I don't know what he was doing, to be honest. I think he was just hanging out. He went up to the front, got hit in the face really hard. And that guy's like, alright, this guy's too easy to kill. So he walks backwards, buffs his teammate, and then continues to kick my guy's ass. This will probably be a loss, but since we're here to have fun, we're just gonna switch it up. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna give him this. Now make him, I think that's good enough. It's just a shame that I can't put on an accessory. I gotta work on that. I gotta work on that. I gotta work on it. There's a lot of work to do in this game. This game requires a lot of dedication. Alright, so I think we got a lot of people in here. What's going on, Quantum? How you doing, man? So after this fight, we'll get a room started so we can hang out. Everybody just chill, farm some Coral Sword. I've died to Miranda before with my Orlando, believe it or not, because she hits really hard. So, wow, courage though, not good enough. So I think I'm gonna have to go with the high faith build for my. Alright, this is a slaughter, but going for the high faith build for Delita, I'm gonna go for 97. Because I want him to be landing that AoE stop. We'll save the last one for later on, before I go to bed. Let's start it up. I got a lot of energy, so if you guys want to join in and get some free runs, let's do it. So everything's on. All right, password. That's a good question, Quantum. For PvP, I think I'm gonna go with Steel Heart. I think I'm gonna go for a lot of Steel Hearting, because right now the PvP is very convoluted. You know, it's not a very good system. But if you're referring to the terminology of PvP in general, I don't really imagine myself climbing too high ever, you know, because as a free-to-play player on this account, it's very hard to do. First and foremost, you don't have access to all the UR vision cards, right? So you're going to be behind in stats. And then to make things worse, arena climbing is all about the unit that they're featuring, because that's how you will get extra points. And then the other thing is you have to spend refills for arena, which is not very feasible for a free-to-play player, right? You don't want to spend gems. I'm trying to trigger a Whimsy shop on my spender account. So the terminology now is going to be spender account and then free-to-play account. So we got room for two. Technically speaking, we don't need too many people, but preferably since we're going for streaming full runs, we want to have a full room. So we'll give a couple of minutes, and nobody joins, we'll just do a quick run, and then we'll add more people as they come onto the stream. Let's see. So arena, I think, is hard to climb. I think the best I've ever done was like 5,000 or something. Here we go. Hello, Theo. But PvP wise, why don't you stream your main account? Like I could, but because I really want to appeal to the free-to-play players, because I feel like if I did if I did the spender account, it's nothing to really compare yourself to, right? Because there's a lot of people that watch my channel have a lot of whales. The guild that I'm in, that I feature, Costa Nostra, has whales and dolphin. So really, and to be honest, I'm not like a serious hardcore person for this game. So for me, it doesn't really make a lot of sense in terms of you know, featuring an account that is just mediocre, right? In terms of as a spender. What I like to do is I just like to collect units and concentrate on just enjoying the game on my own accord, right? You know, doing my own way. So streaming with that account, it would just seems kind of, I guess, counterintuitive in terms of what I'm trying to show off to people. But in the future, I think I would definitely like to do that in terms of make sure I differentiate between my spender mentality and my free-to-play mentality. I think when I do more videos in the future, I will just kind of like what Cabbage does with his. He does the JP logo and then he does the global logo, you know, for his videos. And people are figuring out and eventually knowing the fact that his JP is a whales account, whereas global is a free-to-play account. So I think that's what I would do. I'll just put like spender in parentheses or F2P for, you know, in parentheses what content I'm trying to show off. And I think I'll just create two revenues of content, right? And right now I'm not monetized. I still got a long ways to go, even though we're getting there. We're almost halfway. We're about 40% in. So ideally though, any revenue I generate, it will be going into the spender account. So therefore I can feature more units and things like that. So I think going forward into the future, I would definitely stream my main account eventually. Yes, absolutely. I think if I decide to make money off of this game in terms of streaming, you know, let's say I do Twitch, right? Then definitely I'll probably stream the main account to show off more features and units and gameplay that I can just quote unquote buy with money, right? So for PvE, I think the key thing is make sure I run all events in a smooth manner. I think there's a big difference between my spender account and my pay to win or free to play account. Big difference, like I notice it. For the 3 runs that I did for the deep dungeon, it was very easy. I tell you, it was like smooth as butter, super easy. So we'll give you guys 3 minutes to see if we can get one more viewer to want to play with us. Yes, of course, Omni. Like, but here's the thing, right, Omni? Like, I'm not ready to do a bigger audience because I've been doing a lot of gauging. Even people with humongous followers, right? They only get roughly 10% of their subscriber base or their follower base, as you would put it on Twitch. And sorry guys, that's my rice. I was hungry, so I made some rice. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, you should. I just posted an Instagram picture of my fiance. She made some roasted pork, Chinese roasted pork. It's homemade. Oh my god, I tell you, it's the same as you would get it from the store. It's very fresh. You know, we bought some pork belly and man, that shit is good. So I made some rice. I'm gonna probably hit that up after I stream. But to keep saying what I was saying, so my gauging thing is that Twitch is roughly about 10% at a time when you're streaming. So with only like 400 subscribers on YouTube, and let's say I get, I don't know, maybe 50 followers on Twitch. So that means on average I will only be probably getting 5 viewers. No, not Tatsu, hee hee haha. It's roasted pork, right? You know how they roast it huge, like a whole pig, and then they cut pieces off with a crispy skin. Tatsu is more like it's more like a wet barbecue, Chinese barbecue. I think we could try to make some tatsu at home too, because I think that's really good too. So we got room for one more, folks. Where else I'm gonna hit embark. So I don't think I'm ready for Twitch anyways. And a lot of folks say that Twitch is kind of, I don't know, a lot of people say Twitch is kind of like, you know, not very cool, you know, like right now I'm not generating any income or anything, so I'm just doing this as a hobby. So that's the biggest reason why I'm not participating on Twitch just yet. I do have an account and everything, just I feel like I'm not ready. My favorite type of rice, I would have to say jasmine rice. I love, no problem Quantum, we can wait. I love jasmine rice. I really love that aroma. And then of course I love Japanese rice. Yes, 69221. I love Japanese rice because I used to be a sushi chef back in the days. And I love eating sushi rice. Like you put some of that Japanese spicy mayo in it. Woo! I used to make this bowl, like I would make a bowl, I would cut like bits of pieces of fish. And I'll put some imitation crab, some cucumbers, some carrots. And then I'll put the Japanese, you know, the spicy mayo. Oh man, it's so good. Like that was like my go-to meal at break when I take a break at work. So yeah, I like Thai rice, jasmine rice. I'm pretty much like any rice. I actually enjoy brown rice quite a bit too. But it's got that little crunch though, you know? I think some people wouldn't like that. Recently though, we've been really enjoying risotto. And you know, risotto is kind of like it's like a pasta, right? Risotto is like an Italian pasta, but it resembles that of rice. Oh man, I tell you, it's so good. Risotto is so good. You're right, hee hee ha ha. It is much easier. But like I said before, I'm really just not trying to, you know, make this a full-time job. You know what I mean? Like if this is a full-time job, then yes. I will have a set schedule on Twitch, you know, and you know, just make money off it, make a living off of this. I wouldn't mind doing this at all. But right now I'm not ready to take a full step in, right? I'm just kind of getting my feet wet, right? Just to see if it's something feasible. And my fiance has been very supportive of me. But she also says that if I stream this as a full-time job, there are a lot of times where I have to be very flexible with her schedule, and it wouldn't be fair to her because it would take up a lot of time away from us hanging out. Hey, how you doing, man? How you doing, Koi? How you doing tonight? I know, right? We met at a sushi restaurant, so we're always like craving sushi. Holy shit, did I just get stoned? Damn it. Damn it, I should have probably put on my vision card to get prevented from stoned. Yeah, it will be much easier, you know, because once you put on stream, you just put a notification out on Twitch and boom, you know, you send it out on all your social media and everybody gets notified. But I feel like, you know, this is more of like right now, a very, just kind of get people to kind of know who I am as a person. What happened? Did we get stuck? I got turned into a stone and the game froze. It says transmitting, so I don't think it's me. But eventually, I think if I do stream on Twitch, you know, because I'm not the type of person that's looking for people to donate money or anything like that. But I'm sure if once I get to the point where I'm doing it on a regular basis, and there are some folks who want to support the channel, support me, and everything, then they would, you know, donate, right? But ultimately, honestly, like I do want to raise money for charity. I feel like that's something to do, you know? You can generate money by streaming on Twitch, right? They pay you a little bit. And then if you get big enough, they pay you a lot, I'm assuming. I don't know exactly how much you make. But on YouTube, it's the same thing. Everything is based off of ad revenue. So if people really want to support you, they have to turn off their ad blocker, unfortunately, right? And a lot of people I know use ad blocker. I used to use ad blocker too. But, you know, if I want to make money, I got to at least generate enough money to equal to what I make, you know, what I do for a living now. And that's a long ways. Because I'm comfortable with what I make, and I don't even work full time. If I work full time, I'm super comfortable in life. No issues at all. I can support all my habits, pay all my bills, pay mortgage, everything like that. But I think I will have to be generating a lot of money from streaming. What is exactly going on right now? I will have to generate a lot of money for streaming and YouTube to compensate for all that loss. Because if I was to walk away from my job, then it seems like it's like a big transition to make. Nah, man, quantum, it just takes time. Like, you know, even because I feel like with being a streamer, it's a lot of it is luck, right? As a content creator, I'm learning more and more about the business aspect of it, and at the same time learning the timing of things, right? Because there are a lot of currently content creators. I feel like I'm in the middle of the pack right now. There's a few guys are up in the top. One, obviously, they've been doing it since the beginning of release of the game. And generally speaking, if you want to make it big, you have to do it right in the beginning. Do we need to quit out of the game or restart? Because something's going on. And I think the game broke. And so, like, for example, like Diggs, right? Diggs, he started probably right at the beginning. And that guy, Fort Misery, he started right at the beginning. And of course, AOJ, he was doing it long before Global Server even came out. And then you have House, and you have, I don't know how to say his name, Clake? Yeah. I think we need to restart. Let me be right back real quick. I'm gonna keep talking though. So you have all these people that are already, you know, established YouTubers, right? And then you have the new ones who are trying to get into the game itself. And for them, it's about timing. The fact of the matter is, they started making content. They started making content right at the time the game was released. And so for that fact, then is because they're getting all the people who supporting them right off the bat. Because, you know, when the game first came out, nobody knew how to play this game. Am I right? Like, we were all lost. Like, I'm sometimes feel like I'm still lost because there's still so many things to learn about this game. And so the way I look at it is, I didn't make content until May. The game came out, no, was it May? Yeah, almost the end of May. And the game came out like middle of April. So I was like already a month behind. So I was already clearly missing out a lot of things. And plus, when I first started, all my views, my point of view about the game seems different than your traditional people who create content. So I think I was facing a lot of backlash, and I was just trying to learn the YouTube and editing and things like that. So I think I fell behind the what do you call it? I fell behind the curve in terms of growth. And right now I'm trying to earn people's support, and I think ultimately I think it boils down to if people enjoy you as a person, right? First and foremost. Once people get to know you, they have to either like you or they don't like you at all. And that's just how it is. And I can't do anything about that. I can't be somebody that I'm not. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense, right? So I think at the end of the day, if people want to support me, they can support me. And plus, I was trying out all these different tactics that other people who make content on YouTube are telling people, oh, this is what you need to do. These are the top 10 things you need to do to be successful on YouTube, yada, 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 you know, beg for subscribers. So to speak, like, oh, if you love my content, smash that like button, you know, subscribe. Like, I feel like if people really enjoy your stuff, they're gonna do it, you know? And I know it's crazy that I don't enjoy asking people to do things. Like, I don't really enjoy asking people to hit the subscribe button. I really don't. I hated it. So I stopped doing it. And then I try to do the whole, you know, use certain keywords and things like that. And honestly, you probably should in the beginning, and just keep uploading videos every day, and just like keep working at it. But I realized a lot of it has to do with the fact that over time, they're gonna find you entertaining or find you someone to support rather than necessarily your content. Because I'm sure many of you guys watch other streamers and whatever, that over time they migrate from games to games, right? For example, House and what's his name again? Clay. Those two have been playing Final Fantasy Brave Exvius for the longest time. They're definitely Final Fantasy fans like me. But I never played that game that hard, that deep, so I didn't care about it anymore. But they've been doing it, and they stick to that game because that's what made them grow, on YouTube or non-stream, whatever. But I feel like over time, I'm gonna have to play. I play other games. I play tons of games. That's why I am. I'm a gamer at heart first, rather than, relying on any specific games in general. But I love this game the most so far. This is definitely my favorite game. It's so rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very rich in terms of gameplay. I get to control what I do. I think that's what's important about games. I get to control it. Ultimately, my outcome is based off my decisions. But a lot of games are not like that, especially in this day and age of mobile gaming. It's all about AFKing and auto running and shit like that. But hard content in this game, you have to manual it. And you have to sit there and be creative. And I think that's what I was attracted to this game. I don't think they have fallen off. I mean, they definitely has fallen. Oh, there we go. Finally. They have fallen off for this game. I agree with you on that. But, they have their huge subscriber base. Like Cabbage calls them the big boys, right? Yeah, they're spenders. They're definitely all spenders. No, I agree. I think this game has a very a niche following because you have to really love Final Fantasy. You have to love Final Fantasy Tactics, and you love Square basically, and you can sort of put up with Gumi, right? And I keep saying it, a lot of people have bad experiences with Gumi, myself included. So, it is what it is, right? I used to play Brave Frontier. I spent a few bucks here and there on that game, and believe me, I regret every dollar I ever spent on that shitty ass game. Yeah, you're right. There's not that much content you need to actual manual, but I enjoy manualing at times. And for me, I love it. I love the fact that I can farm, and I can farm at my own pace. Like, I love farming some stages to get the JP crystals. Oh, man, I enjoy that aspect so much. Like, just to sit there and click. I know to people it's like really boring, right? I think it's partially because of the background. I grew up in the 80s and things like that, and so I love the whole grindy aspect. So I'm sitting there clicking, and just waiting for all those mobs to die, and so they turn into crystal, and then I move my guy around. I think some people might see that as a waste of time, but I enjoy it. I love it. I don't know, just me. So I think this game has a lot of potential for sure. It's a very young game, right? It hasn't even reached 1 year. We're just about to hit six month anniversary on global in October, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot of potential here, and I think everyone is looking forward to the possibility of Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VII, right? Am I right? Those two are probably going to do the two biggest ones, and then there are going to be tons of other things. And one thing actually I thought about when I was walking my dog earlier was the fact that I'm actually contemplating about working on a game myself. It's because I've been playing games for a long time, and having playing gacha games for like 9-10 years since pretty much his history. Like, I realize what formula works, and as a player I know what works because I approach it from, hey, if I want to spend a lot of money, what will be the reason why I do it. I also approach it from the perspective, hey, what about the free-to-play players, right? What are they thinking? So I think from a business perspective, even though I don't have any experience in terms of business, like, training, all I have is just what I learned as in restaurant businesses, right? I've learned that I think what can work formula-wise and marketing-wise. And this game does a lot of those things very well. And I think this is one game I really hope that a company would just put out right now. I really hope they would just make it. I will be playing that game for a long time, as long as they do it well. But so far, there's no companies creating this game that's in my brain. You know what I mean? Like, I have a lot of ideas embedded into my brain that I will take the time to write it down, draw like the units and design their skills and things like that. I would love for that to come to fruition. I obviously, I don't want to reveal it, you know, now, but that's something that I've been working on. And I think eventually I do want to approach the companies to see if they're interested in making a game like that. And I think it would be really rich in terms of the target audience. Like, the target audience would be people that grew up in the 80s and 90s and people who grew up with this specific brand. And I think it will work a lot, because I know there's a lot of people out there that would like do many things to try to get their hands on a game that's just legit. With this specific IP that's huge, it's humongous. Like, it's been around for, you know, since the 60s actually. So hopefully that will come to fruition over the next, I don't know, before I hit, you know, 50 years old, right? That's my goal. Did you play Tactics? Yes, of course. Oh, how you doing, Ice? I don't think we have met. Ice Majin. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I love Final Fantasy Tactics. That was my first game that I played, I would say, that was strategy based. And I was in love with that game. And I made a lot of money off that game, me and my friends, because we got tons of copies, like, that were sealed. Like, we were college students, but we invested it. And when the game got really big and there weren't enough copies out there, we were selling them on eBay and everything, and we were making lots of money. But that was the first game that I treated like an MMO for myself. I probably put in like many hundreds of hours, and subsequently I have all the different variations of the game as well. Hi Jocelyn, how you doing? Jocelyn Hart, have we met? If we haven't, welcome to the stream, by the way. So yeah, I definitely play Final Fantasy Tactics. Ironically enough though, I've never beaten the game. I will give you guys 1.5 minutes if anybody want to take the last slot here. The password is 87728. Lai, hey, how you doing, Lai? Final Fantasy X is the best. You know what? I never played Final Fantasy X. That's the one with, what's that guy's name? I forgot his name. He had the shorts, right? Or was that with? Oh, okay, there's that. All right, was that with? I forgot his name. The guy with the bomber jacket. I think that's 10, right? First time on stream, but sub. Yes. Okay, welcome. Thank you for the support then. Yeah, I never played 10 or 10X, 10-2, whatever. I think I stopped playing Final Fantasy after 9. Like, I played 7. I didn't really enjoy it, to be honest. I didn't like the whole machine guns and tanks and things like that. I wasn't into that. Then 8 came out, right? 8 was, man, what was 8? No, 8 is with the one with the bomber jacket, right? I didn't really enjoy that one either. And I enjoy 9 quite a bit, but I never actually play that game hardcore. Exactly. Thank you, Jesse. Welcome, by the way, if I haven't seen you before. Bomber Jacket is, in fact, Final Fantasy 8. So 10 I skipped. 11, I think it was an online game, if I'm not mistaken. I skipped that. And then 12, I love Final Fantasy 12. That, because that was a time where, like, MMOs were huge. I'm sorry, I'm going to check this real quick. I'm going to check if I triggered my Whimsy Shot. This is the third one I need to trigger. I need to trigger 3 a day on average to finish my Red Chocobo. And it's just not happening right now. And I refuse to keep wasting more skip tickets. So 12 I love. That was still on PlayStation 2. And it had that MMO feel, right? And I loved the combat system. I couldn't get enough. Like, I loved it. I really enjoyed the fact I had to run around like an MMO, and the combat system was very satisfying. So honestly, if they bring Final Fantasy 12 characters and frankly, I don't remember any of their names. But if they did, oh my god, excuse me. I think it was based on Ivalice as well, right? Wasn't Final Fantasy 12 like based in the same world as Final Fantasy Tactics? So that's what I think what also made me be really attracted to that game. So if they bring Final Fantasy 12 units into this game, I would definitely open my wallet up. I mean, I already opened my wallet up, but I don't open it large enough, you know. It's kind of like a little crack, you know, and draw a couple of bucks here and there. Akatsuki, how you doing, buddy? Yes, I love Final Fantasy 12, the Gambit system. Yes, I was one that Audacity removed. Ah, yes, Jesse. Okay, yes, I need to look into it. I did look into it a little bit, and I really want to get rid of my background noise. And today, I was going to record a long video for this morning, but I deleted it because what happened was I was playing around on my recorder, and it turns out that you can mess around on my recorder, and it was kind of weird. Like when I was not talking, there was no background noise at all. So I had this like depth of volume that was going in and out. But I feel like, yeah, that's something I need to improve on. But most of it is because of where my office is. I'm located like because my house is right off of a main street. So I get a lot of traffic during the day. So there's a lot of noise and I can't do anything about it. Even if I was upstairs in my house, there would still be traffic noise. And my water heater, because this is Florida, we don't have a basement, so I have to have my water heater on the first floor, and unfortunately it's very obnoxious. Thank you, Ice Majin. X is Titus, you're right, Titus, I remember now. He was the one that was the game where they were introduced to that one game where they play like something with a ball, right? Like volleyball in underwater or something. I don't remember all that much, but so yeah, I definitely want to work on just software and hardware equipment to kind of mitigate some of the funky noises that I'm having. But now what we do is we just turn a water heater on. We pause the water heater while I'm doing streams or recording video, and it's been I'm getting a lot better results. Yes, Quack, how you doing, buddy? Costs between 400. Yes, it does. It costs me a lot. And I'm going through like my energy and my skip tickets like crazy to trigger it. I think I'm at almost 60 in, so I need like another 40 to finish my chocobo. And for some weird reason, it's not triggering in the shop either for the 5-piece shards. So, you know, I don't know what's going on. Thanks, Quack. Yeah, man, like it's kind of weird. I feel like I'm an old dude. I really do. I feel like I'm an old dude. And a lot of the personal experience I've had, I feel like it's a good idea to pass that on to others, right? Because I think my target audience wasn't really intended to be the age group that probably it is. But I think there's a lot of young gamers that play this game. Even though Tactics came out in the 90s, right? And then you have Final Fantasy 7. Because Final Fantasy 7 is what pretty much boomed I guess you would call RPG in America, even though there was already a following for RPGs, but it was always in the background, right? A lot of people like myself will always enjoy RPGs more than like say Madden football. So the general consensus in culture was we were looked down upon, you know, by the average folk because they think we're nerds, they think we're losers, all we do is stay home and play video games. And then, of course, when Madden was introduced, it kind of opened up this whole new thing about the mentality on video games. And Final Fantasy VII is what brought RPG onto the main front, right? It became household name, sort of. Cloud became a household name. Sephiroth became a household name. And kids that growing up in that era love Sephiroth, love Cloud. You know, like you can see it everywhere. Sephiroth, Cloud. And so I wasn't sure what the target audience. Like I can look it up on my YouTube because it shows me analytics. But the general age for gamer, believe it or not, is actually I think late 20s to early 30s. But seemingly there's a lot of folks that are within my background. Like, you know, I grew up in the 80s. So a lot of people in their 30s and 40s that play this game. But I think there's also a lot of 20s that play this game. Because, you know, mobile gaming in itself is a new revolution of gaming, right? We're in a new dawn of a new era of video games, and mobile gaming is the reality because of smartphones. Yes, Squall, that's his name. Yes, Squall, thank you. I got all the experts besides Ultima and Vaughn. Yes, that's awesome. I love Final Fantasy 12. Hey Frank. Hey, how you doing, Pan? Yes, welcome. Yes, I did notice that this is your first stream. Have you tried soloing the Cold Sword multi? Yes, I can solo it with no issue. The only problem is you might get that random, right? You get that random boom, they stone you, and the game is over. 2 players is the safest. Like 2 units is the safest. Because if you use the AoE, like say Mediana or the new girl Eldara, if you use one to AoE and then you have the other one just kind of climb this hill here, the one on the bottom screen that you're watching, then you can quickly do it. I can probably clear this map with 2 units in like a couple of minutes or less. So okay, Final Fantasy 6. Wait a second, are you talking about Final Fantasy 6 in the States? Or are you talking about Final Fantasy? Because there was no Final Fantasy 6 in the States. Like they did release it, but it's different. Yes, Blitzball. Thank you, Ice. So you looks like Ice is the Final Fantasy 10 person. Sure, piracy has always been an issue, man. I'm not gonna lie. My copy of Final Fantasy 12 was a pirated version when I used to have it. Yes, okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking you're referring to, Akatsuki, because a lot of people didn't know that, right? You know, so you probably grew up around the same time frame as me, because Final Fantasy 3 was on the Super Nintendo, and that was big. That was a big game. Final Fantasy 2 was probably, in my opinion, bigger. I'm not mistaken. Final Fantasy 3 was kind of towards the end, the lifespan of Super Nintendo, right? So anytime when you have games that's towards the end of a lifespan, like Earthbound, for example. Oh, finally, Whimsy Shop, guys, Whimsy Shop. The games tend to get ignored a lot, and they're just not as popular. So I used to collect video games. That's how I know a lot about this. And I also learned the hard way that those games are going to be a lot more pricey to try to collect. Earthbound, you know, still fetches a big ticket on eBay, especially if you get a complete version. But for me, I have Earthbound on the Wait, do I have Earthbound? Is Earthbound on the Super Nintendo Mini? I think it is. That's the reason I bought it. I love Earthbound, by the way. That was a fun little game. Yes, I think I would pick up Final Fantasy 12 on the Switch. Okay, I'm officially at 61, so I need 39 more for the red chocobo. And I only need 1 more Ramza shard, and I haven't gotten in 2 days. I don't know what's going on with that either. Still none in the shop. I don't want to spend gems. Like, if I'm getting to the middle to late 80s or late 180s for the Final Fantasy Tactics banner, I don't recommend spending more gems to buy the shards, because of the Chocobo Expedition has been very friendly to us. So ideally you have less than a week, but 5 days is should be more than enough time, especially if you're spending the 2-hour tickets if you trigger the fever. So you should be able to get those without spending any more gems. There's no reason to spend, what, a few hundred gems on it anymore? Okay, I need to look into the remaster version then. I heard about it. I love that game, I really do. The 3X Sport on the remaster? Nope, I can't say I have because I never play that. I never play any of the remaster versions. And again, I never beat 12 either because the game was so rich and deep. And at that time I was in college, so a lot of studying. I was going into a professional school. I was trying to get in a professional school, so I had to abandon gaming for a very long time. But I would love, since I'm in many ways, I have a lot of free time now, so I definitely play a lot of games. But managing 2 accounts, I tell you, on this game, it's very draining. I know, me too, hee hee. We're in the same boat, literally exactly in the same boat. Ramza, 1 shard. 2 days, none. Haven't seen any. Okay, Ice, so you are very familiar with modern Final Fantasy games. Yeah, I have a Vita. I have a pretty nice, not Vita, I don't have the Vita. I have the one before that. The PSP. I have a pretty nice PSP RPG collection. I spent a lot of money in buying like a lot of those special editions on the aftermarket. I got them pretty good price. Alright, Quantum, no problem. We'll just keep running, and then if people want to join in, we'll have people join in on the next run. Oh yeah, 2 shard Agrias, yeah. I've been getting a lot of Agrias shards. There's been no problems with me getting Agrias shards. I was done with her a long time ago. I probably should show her off. Show her off. I got the sword maxed. She's all maxed. I need to just go back and fill out all of her skills, right? I have lots of gold hoarded. But this weekend I need to kind of farm hard again for gold, because I like to try to have 50 million buffer in case, you know, I need to work on a new unit. It takes like 20 to 40, maybe 50 million to really make a unit effective in terms of skills. So I think that's why a lot of people were kind of like anti normal summons when I made that video. They were saying you should save your energy, you know, to do other things. Which, by the way, the Twin Dragon raid, it's a piece of shit. For those of you who don't know about that raid, it was total garbage, man. Like, worst raid ever contrived on that game, in the game. And I think Theorycraft Gaming was talking about that, because I enjoy his content, because he's, you know, he's a straightforward guy, right? He just, I think his name is Dave. So he basically just does everything from a PowerPoint perspective, right? And he's a, I think he's a whale on the JP. So he's pretty much like Cabbage. So those two are like, but his style is different, right? He just does everything presentation style. Like, I'm sure he's a businessman or something is the only thing I can imagine, because he does PowerPoint presentation basically. But he talked about the details of how crappy it was, how poor thought went into the game. And it made you think, like, was it the same people that are working on this game that work on that project? Make you really kind of think, right? Because, you know, Square is huge, and Gumi, whatever. Those companies are humongous. They probably have a lot of employees doing different quote-unquote events for the projects. But whoever did that project, it was terrible. So hopefully when they bring that over to us, there's a little bit more, hopefully it's modified, and hopefully it's catered to the player base on global. Now, I don't like to segregate between, you know, Asian players and global players. I never intend that to happen, but I feel like global players definitely don't like when something's not done well. And I'm not saying Asian players accept that fact, but I feel like, you know, they don't, Asian people, in my honest opinion, not many of them complain as much. Like, my parents rarely complain about things. They feel like, you know, people work hard in their craft, so people can make mistakes, and then usually, generally speaking, accept it. Hey Ryan, how you doing? And so I think global players are not necessarily like more angry when they give crappier content, but I think they tend to be more critical. And I don't disagree with either culture perception of things. I think you have to respect people the way they're brought up, right? Because I took philosophy, I took psychology, so I at least have some sort of understanding how, generally speaking, people work. You know, your environment greatly affects how you're raised and how you're brought up, and also some has to do with our DNA programming. So overall, I feel like they need to work a little harder to bring content on the global, because it does just cover the entire world. Am I right? And there's still Japanese players that play on the server, obviously, but you know, you have many countries you have to think about, whereas the Japanese server most likely is more catered to the Asian community. So that's something that the companies, I honestly feel like they're doing a really good job. Overall, I think they're doing a good job to make sure that the global community is catered to. And I think Cabbage touched on that subject. There are going to be people who feel entitled, but that's just the way of life, right? In this modern day where we don't have a lot of wars, where there's a lot of peace, people will get bored. I think one of the main reasons we have wars is because at the times when we have wars, people need things. In this day and age, technology is making food supplies so readily available, right? Right now, we will never have a shortage of food. And so it's just we're a very complacent point of life. We're a complacent point in time of our lives that not much is going on. So this pandemic thing can be pretty serious, obviously. So in general, I think people are very complacent, and therefore that can create some sort of entitlement. All right, that was a 4 drop, guys. Nice. We're getting there. We're getting there. I think in general, people definitely have that entitlement. Yeah. I mean, there's not much you can do about it, right? You can't change the way people feel. You can't change the way people view things. And me, I don't want to change the way people view things. I just wanted people to understand the way I view things. That's it. That's the only reason why I made this channel, to express myself. And that's all I'm doing. Yes, it did, and I had no problem with it, Pan, at all. Like, I had no issue with the criticism, because people didn't see it the way I was trying to present it. I was simply presenting a opportunity for people to gain shards, and I think more and more people are realizing that as a free-to-play player, that's the real legit way for us to gain shards of vision cards. So. Insert name here. I like that. Very creative. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I think so too. Like, I said it many times in my streams, many times in my previous videos, that I've been traveling a lot lately, especially amongst the Asian countries. And I do not see any lawyer commercials. In America, like, if you sit down and watch television for an hour, you will probably most likely see beer commercials, car commercials, and then lawyer commercials. That's it. And maybe soda or fast food, I guess. Those would be the top 5. Like, I know I watch a lot of Jeopardy, and during that hour, I literally see like local commercials. I see guaranteed lawyer commercials. Guaranteed. And this country is all about litigation. Everything is about litigation. It is what it is. Yeah, I think honestly, as an Asian American, right, I usually don't complain too much. But if I'm fed up to the point, like, for example, I go to a restaurant, right, and I support the business, like a local business, and if they fuck up my food, I generally speaking don't like to complain. You know what I'm saying? And my dad's the same way. He's like, yeah, just let it go. But my mom gets very critical. And we just say, listen, just let it go. I mean, it's probably an honest mistake. And on top of it, I don't want to send my food back and have them fuck my food up the second time they break it out, right? So I would want to take that gamble. And so, but, you know, unless I feel like it's something I really need to put my foot down on, then yes, I will criticize. And I'll be like, listen, this is not how I wanted this food, please. But yeah, most of the time I feel like, you know, everyone works hard for the most part. People work hard, right? People who are working hard. And I don't think it's fair to make people have a harder life, especially if something, you know, perhaps it wasn't out of control or, you know, whatever, understandable mistakes and things like that. Because working in the restaurant business in general, like when I used to work them, is very stressful. Like, it's probably one of the highest stress a human being can face, other than perhaps surgery or something, right? Because, you know, you got to get food quickly, you got to maintain your quality, and you got to get food out fast, and you got to make sure people are satisfied. So, oh, is it? Okay, see, that I didn't know. If it's illegal to advertise lawyers in Singapore, then that makes perfect sense. Well, I don't recommend spending 50 million to pull for something specific, because I try to do the same thing. I think I spent like 30 million to try to get one extra Ayaka shard, and, you know, I was like, the chance of me getting that is very low. So I wasn't too worried about it. But bet you $20 though, if you didn't think about it, the next day he boom, that stupid Snow White card would show up, right? You know, that's how it always works. Yeah, Singapore is a very, honestly, to me, like Singapore is a very unique country, right? I don't like to talk politics, so I won't. But I just visited Singapore last year, and then we plan on going back, you know, in the near future. But of course, pandemic hit, so that kind of threw a big wrench in our traveling plans. But I really enjoy Singapore. Super clean, super safe. And we actually thought about actually moving to Singapore, and because everyone speaks English there, and you know, my fiance, she's a ER physician, so she's a doctor, and I'm a registered nurse. So I think since everyone speaks English, it'll be easy transition. And plus, I speak Mandarin, and she speaks Cantonese, so I think that's very easy for us. A country definitely that I think we can prosper at. The biggest problem is, you know, everything's kind of small, everything's like compact. And the weather, I live in Florida and I hate it already. So you can imagine, you know, there's no winter at all in Singapore. So that will be like a little tough for me because I'll be drenched in sweat every day. And when I was on vacation there for like a week plus, it was pretty rough, man. It was, I tell you, I hate that feeling of just, your sweat just doesn't dissipate, you know? But I actually got sick in Singapore. Actually, I started getting sick when I visited Malaysia. I was in Malaysia for 2 days and I got horribly sick. It's one of my medical conditions that flared up. So I had to go see a doctor in Singapore, and I tell you, man, that the healthcare system there is the bomb, man, for real. But at the same time, because it's so good, I can't imagine doctors getting paid a lot of money, so. I got an A in English and nonsense, nice. Yeah. My writing is terrible though. Like I used to want to write scripts for movies because I'm a huge movie buff, and I always thought I could just write movies because I'm a huge critic of movies. Like I criticize heavily when I watch movies and shows. So for me, I feel like I can do my own script, and I think it'd be a lot easier. But it turns out my writing is terrible, and it was always terrible when I was in school. And yeah, it's definitely not something I can really do, to be honest. But I'm pretty creative in terms of movie ideas. I could be rich right now. Honestly, I could be super rich because some of the movie ideas that's already out, that's already made into movies, I came out with those ideas like long before those movies were even in theaters. It is what it is, right? Because if you don't do what you need to do, you're not gonna get the fish or the worm, as they call it, right? Jose, how you doing, Jose? Welcome to the stream, buddy. It is. I think in general though, like I think Singapore has a shortage. Like, cause she was doing a little research, a little digging, like last year. Cause we were really impressed with Singapore. And so she did a little research. I think they are short on medical staff. That's probably why they work a lot of hours. And they don't really get paid as well as, say, United States. I think the two countries that get paid a lot, like Karate Kid. You betcha, Jose. I love Karate Kid, man. I actually just watched all three of them because they came on Netflix. You know, hey, pandemic, man. You gotta get your binging in. I was farming, obviously, and I was running the game, my free-to-play account on the computer, my spinner account on my phone. I was just farming, and then I had my Netflix on. I wish I had 3 screens. I really wish my setup will eventually have multiple screens. So right now I just kind of split screen it, you know, watch Netflix, play the game. So I went through all 3 Karate Kid. So that inspired me to do that parody on my own video. I thought it was actually quite entertaining. Thanks, Jose. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Like I try. I really put a lot of thought into my content because sometimes I can't fall asleep because my brain's running like at 50 miles an hour and I'm just thinking about what I want to say and brainstorming ideas. But, 2, okay, not bad. We're 20 in. But I tell you though, creating content is very hard. Like, I don't like to create garbage content. Like, I know there's a lot of nonsense content out right now, like on the different channels. People have to create content of some sort. And I try to sway away from all the clickbaiting stuff. And if it's something I don't know anything about, I learn my lesson. I try not to say anything about it, to be honest. Yes, I agree, Quack. So yeah, like, I think they still pay the doctors decent in Singapore. That's why, no. I think it's perfectly fine to talk about it without diving into specifics and politics. I'm okay with discussing things that are more like in general, so to speak. You know, I don't have to go and attack any political parties or talk about religion and shit like that. Those are no-nos on my streams, by the way. If I stream on Twitch or I want to make revenue off of streams, then those are absolute no-nos. Then I have to get those, what do you call those things? Those little bots and shit to kick people out on like certain keywords are typed. Boom, kick them out. But I think you can have a normal conversation about whatever we're talking about without having to affect the gaming stream right now. And that's what streaming is, right? It's just people having conversations. As long as not offensive or something that can trigger people. I think talking about wages of a doctor, I don't think that's a big deal. I haven't seen Cobra Kai. I know there was Cobra Kai on YouTube. I think there was miniseries, but I didn't watch it. I think I should go and watch Cobra Kai because I'm running out of shit to watch on Netflix. We even thought about just getting rid of Netflix for a few months and switch to Disney Plus for a little bit so I can watch like my Hulu stuff. And then cancel that and go back to Netflix when, like, say Stranger Things or whatever comes on. Because I have Amazon Prime. I think Amazon Prime is worth it because if you order a lot of shit like we do, the free shipping is nice. Look at that. Host bonus. And then there's a Amazon Prime warehouse. Literally, I would say 4 miles down the road. So we get our stuff pretty quick. I like it though. I think Amazon's pretty nice because even though I believe they treat their workers not that well, from the grapevine, I heard that from the grapevine. But you know, still jobs, right? As long as people working, you know, and I respect people working in general. Like I was a bum for a long time, dude. I was a super bum, dude. I didn't do shit. All I played was World of Warcraft. I played World of Warcraft for 2 years straight without working. And I'm telling you, that's the worst experience I ever had in my life in hindsight. You know, as an adult, that was the worst decision I ever made. No, I have not, Jose. I think there's plenty of YouTubers right now probably already make a shitload of videos on Agrias. Are you... Because honestly, like, I have Agrias built, level 99. I just need to finish the jobs in terms of maxing them out easily. I usually do that on Saturdays. And then I haven't even touched any of her skills, to be honest. Like, I haven't even decided to take her out for a spin because I don't feature her. I don't feature my spender account at all, as much as I try to avoid content strictly from the spender's perspective because I don't think it fits with the free-to-play community. But I think I will highlight her eventually down the road, though. You know what I mean? Because it's not tainted. She's not tainted because I don't spend money to get vision cards like whales would. Yeah, Aubrey is more of a support unit. I don't think she's anything impressive. I just need to have her because it's Final Fantasy Tactics. She's not a damaging unit per se, but she is a very annoying unit. Like, you can build her to be fast. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just stack agility. And then just have her go into a crowd and just start doing the stop AoE. It's very obnoxious. If she triggers that on a 97 Faith, yeah, good luck. Like, if your whole team is stopped, that's pretty much almost game over. But I do enjoy the way she is. Like, I love her animations. I just loved her when I used to play her. But she never stood out, right? She never stood out in the story. She never stood out as a must-own unit to bring to combat situations. I think Agrias is really, really solid in terms of if you use her for a specific purpose. And then of course in PvE, she's amazing. Like if I actually, you know, now I think about it, if I actually took Agrias to EX floor 9 on the deep dungeon, she probably would have tore that shit up with the stops. Boom, 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 stop those stupid swordsmen. Yeah, easy mode. But I didn't have a hard time with that at all. Like I steamroll deep dungeon. Yeah, exactly. Her movement sucks. So until they give us some sort of TMR or something that can give us more movement, she is very, very restrictive. Yeah, the average is 3, right? The minimum is 3. I think you're right. I think guys in general definitely mature differently. But for me, like I was a bum. Like I was literally a bum. I grew my hair out long. I didn't shave, and I felt really bad for my dog. My dog Nash Taters. Like I felt like I pretty much ignored him for those 2 years. You know, we did the basics. But you know, if I could take that time back from my life, I would definitely redo those years. Okay, Jesse, no problem, man. Or, yeah, I'm assuming is a man. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. I don't like to assume, because looking at people's names, you automatically, you know, generate something. I don't get to see people, so I apologize. For future purposes, I want people to make sure that I don't assume anything. All right, I know this is the new age, and I gotta respect that. Landu is an exception because his attack range is fine. Yes, Landu is stupid good. Orlando is definitely good. I think Cabbage dislikes him though. I don't know why he dislikes him. Maybe because he felt like Orlando is everywhere for a long time. And I can understand him being annoyed by that. I guess we're going Mediana, right? Let me switch then. Let me switch to Orlando. All right, triple Mediana works. Yeah, they did Quantum. Like in hindsight, everything. Oh, look at somebody. Come on, Ashton. Somebody's showing off. Who's Ashton? Come on, raise your hand in chat. Who are you, Ashton? I wanna know your name because you're rubbing it in, rubbing that salt in the wound because we didn't get Ashton. I mean, we didn't get Ashton. We didn't get Eldara. I'm not gonna lie. I'm tempted to make a brand new account, re-rolling, just so I can go get Eldara. Let's see how badass she is. Did you even work on Ashton? Did you even work on her yet, Ashton, huh? Not you, Ashton Fox. By the way, welcome to the stream. I don't believe we met, so. I don't think there's a way, Kent. And by the way, welcome to the stream. I don't think we met either. Cabbage is hilarious, though. I like him. Yeah, I think I agree. I think there's some sort of pseudo hatred towards Orlando. And like I said, I'm only attracted to him because he was such a big part of my life, you know, when I was younger. But I told Cabbage in one of his videos, like I said that when traveling can resume again, I would love to do a collaboration with him in real life. You know what I mean? Like meet him in Japan and hang out a little bit, you know, and maybe do some summons together and talk about, you know, life in general and things like that. I think that would be great for YouTube, right? Because I'm not huge. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I'm not big on YouTube. I'm just a little guy. But I would like to definitely like I would totally be friends with him. Like just judging him from his demeanor. Obviously, we don't know him, right? Nobody knows him. We just know him of what he does on videos. So for me, like, I love the Japanese culture in general. So for those people who I feel like are good folks, I could be friends with. So thank you, Ken. I appreciate it. I've come a long way since a couple of months ago. Oh, somebody been scouring. Ashton's weapon skills are only 10 and the mace is +4. Nice. Yeah, Keto Faye is so hard. She literally 1v3'd my entire team. Keto Faye is strong. Keto Faye is basically a tank. The more and more I'm playing with her, I realize she's a tank. She's just a tank. She's basically a tank that can deal magic damage. I played with her a couple times on my fiance's account because she has her and she's almost 99 on that account. And I played with her Venera too. And Venera is pretty strong too, but yeah, I would definitely go after Keto Faye on the unit selecting ticket for the 6-month anniversary. Because I was gonna ask the YouTube community to help me what unit they think should be the unit that I pick. And I decided I think Keto Faye is a must do. On my spender account, obviously. Free to play doesn't have that luxury to get that ticket because it costs pay gems. Rain is absolutely crazy good. Yeah, Quack, I'll be honest with you, the entire equipment system in this game is terrible. So, it's pretty bad. I think they can do an overhaul. I think the game could definitely use an overhaul of the equipment system. I mean, I understand why they did it, but I think it goes without saying. I think everyone realized how bad the system is. I think honestly for the 1-year anniversary, they will probably do like selector tickets for free to play. Everyone will get it. Select Mushroom. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, I really want to build Mushity. I really want to build her now because of the mace. I think Mastery is badass. I think healing classes are sick. Without healing, can you imagine you guys trying to beat the harder content without healers? So I'm sure all of y'all watch Cabbage's video by now. All of them. I actually sat down like over a course of period. I watched all of his video. I backtracked every single video he had like a long time ago, right? This is when I first started playing. And he kept saying that healing is not needed. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, of course you need healing. But then his point was valid. Like in the beginning of the game, you don't need healing. But much later in the content, you will need healing. So right now, I realize you definitely need healing. Without healing, there's no way you can beat... There's no way you can beat Deep Dungeon without healing. And the other thing I don't like about this game is, why do they allow us to use items, which by the way, I never use, and then keep making us do missions without asking us not to use items? It seems counterproductive, right? That doesn't make sense. Why even put items in the game if you don't want us to use it? And how many of you guys actually use items? It's such a useless thing in the game. They should just completely remove them. Yeah, the equipment system is terrible. I was gonna make a video on it, then I always ignored it because it's such a crappy system. There's no point for every content creator to make the same video and the same rant, you know? It's kind of pointless. Maybe they'll bring in a blue mage eventually. I think people talked about that. Blue mage would be pretty dope to bring to the game. We have green mage, we have white mage, black mage, red mage. We need a blue mage. Yeah, I mean, I have used item like a couple of times on my free-to-play account. I had to use potions to heal, but I'm like, what'll be the purpose of it? It's like you barely heal that much. They should really just remove the item system in general. And then rehaul the equipment. Like if people were to ask me, what would be the biggest change I would like to bring to this game? That's what I would do. Of course, yes, the JP is always going to get, you know, changes and then it's going to come to us, right? But what I'm saying is global server is behind. And I actually made that comment on Cabbage's channels. You know, I was like, you know, if they imported this game over, why didn't it just give us the quality of life changes that was already implemented? Why give us the specific layout following the specific order of how the Japanese server was done. Like, the point is, if you're going to take a game that's existed for what, several months long before a global release, but the quality of life is up to date, then why didn't you just give us the up to date version of quality of life rather than making us wait for those changes? Giving us the ability to turn on and off was something they could have easily implemented right at the release of global launch, but they chose not to. They chose to update the game as if they were updating the Japanese server, which to me doesn't make sense because a lot of people feel the same way, right? There's a few people that I watch. There's a couple of guys. This guy named Scion Storm, and there's this guy named FG3000. They're like mobile gamers, and they talk about the same thing. They're like, if you made a game that's on an Asian server or any other server prior to global release, why didn't you bring the quality of life changes with it? Why are you forcing global players to go through or endure the exact same path the Japanese players did? To me, that makes no sense. That's ridiculous. That's like saying, here's a brand new car we created for the world, but we have the better version, you know, on the original production line. But we decided not to give you the updates that we currently have. We want you to wait a couple of years and then we'll sell you the updates. What kind of shit is that? I guess if that is a way of looking at it, right? Quote unquote, make us suffer, like make us go through the entire ordeal the Japanese player went through, but it's fucking ridiculous. What device do I play on? I play on iOS, and then I play on BlueStacks, which is what you're seeing now. We'll give you guys maybe a minute, because I need to restore energy. Look at this, 233. 194. This is from all the months of saving, by the way. This account was created 4 days after global release, and all I did was hoard. I hoarded all these potions. But now we can put it to good use because we're streaming. Welcome, Dial. Love that hat. Somebody got a 99. Oh, by the way, who's Dial? If you could tell us who you are in chat, I would love to ask some questions. What do you feel about that unit? Because I was kind of angry at that unit. I don't know whose fault it is, Jose, to be honest. I don't know who makes the final calls. My imagination would be Gumi's aspect, because I think Square Enix co-publishes it. They have input in what they want in the game, but I think Gumi is the one that has the foundation laid out. The game is using the Alchemist Code coding, so everything is, the foundation's laid out accordingly. Akatsuki, okay, so let me ask you this. What do you think of that unit? Do you like her? Like, clearly you have the TMR because you maxed her out. Like, what do you think of that unit? Little Leela? I wasn't too impressed, but then again, my opinion is skewed because mine is not maxed. She can be tanky, right? Because she is a Spellblade. I'm thinking about finishing her off because one thing I've learned is that you cannot build every UR, even if you're a whale, or let me rephrase that. Even if you're a spender, I don't advise just blasting through your URs. It's stupid. You need to build unit of different rarities. Even if you're a spender or a free-to-play, you have to look at it because the wall is going to be the spheres, right? But there'll be times where you will have more rainbow fragments than you will actually have rainbow spears. And it doesn't make sense to sit there and wait to get more spears. It makes more sense in terms of progression to build other units that uses the fragments, such as the lower rarities. Now, I know everyone complains about the idea that SRs and the Rs shouldn't need that many fragments of thoughts, but that's how it's designed. It's designed for you to concentrate on building units that you need, rather than simply saying, let's ignore everything and go after the URs. From that design perspective, I agree. Should they lower the fragments rainbows? Perhaps in the future, yeah, maybe. but are you getting a really good unit in terms of advancing on your account if you were to build an SR or an R? Absolutely you are. Try out PvP. I dare you. I challenge the community to go out and do PvP using only SRs and Rs and do the thieves, right? Because the steel hard, yeah, you're gonna win. If you steel hard your enemy units, you're not gonna lose. Six level 99. That sounds about right. 2 months? But I don't think you have 6 UR level 99s, right? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that's a good point. I thought about doing her. Like, I don't, not so much for the TMR purposes, but for the fact that the TMRs in this game is awesome. The TMR system in this game is much more friendly than the Final Fantasy Brave Exvius is, by the way. And the TMRs can make or break battles, because if you have a large collection of TMRs, then you can equip things for specific encounters. Like, for example, I had a very hard time on this account, by the way, the free-to-play account on the EX 9th floor in Deep Dungeon, right? So I went back and I started tweaking my espers. I started moving, shoveling my equipment around, because I was having a hard time of having my Mont as my main tank against those 2 wind/attack units, and they kept killing him. And luckily, I didn't die on 1 run out of the 15 runs that I've done, and I was able to clear it. And I think you have to credit it to just making sure that you're very diverse and owning equipment and things like that. I was going to max Zazan, but then saw he needed a rainbow. Yeah, but trust me, Zazan has done work for many people. Zazan has done work. Zazan has cleared Deep Dungeon for me, no issues. At level 85, by the way. I didn't even fully awaken him. He has done work for me on the Porcelain Tower, especially against that nasty, the last 2 stages, the nasty stages. Getting the charm out on those thieves, whew, I tell you, it's game changer. Okay, so if you're a heavy spender, then that means you're buying packages where you're getting the rainbows. Because I think that's the best way to spend it, by the way. If you're a spender, don't just buy gems. That makes no sense. That makes no sense, financial wise. It's better to buy packages that give you gems and then give you the things, what do you call it? The rainbow stuff, because that's progression, right? Buying gems, what are you going to do with the gems? Summon? That makes no sense. Summoning is by far one of the worst ways to progress in the game. Yes, Zazan is stupid good. In PvE, he is ridiculous. Like, he is definitely the king in terms of getting into the range of Steelheart. And of course, the other unit I would really enjoy playing with would be Ziza, because I have her max now. And I'm closing in on the spender account too. Even though I'm a spender, I'm a super light spender, by the way. I don't go too hard on it right now. I still have the player to free-to-play mentality, even though I'm a spender. Like, I view as spending as a necessity on that account because there's certain goals that I want to meet, all right? On the free-to-play account, the goals are automatically lined up for you. One of it has to do with Lady Luck. If Lady Luck blesses you with certain units, then you want to build those units. But if Lady Luck says, no, you don't get this unit, then there's no point in thinking about it. There's no point in planning about it. There's no point in preparing. What the fuck? Like, I don't understand. What can you do to prepare for something? You can't. You really can't. Like, all right. For example, my man Ben his account name is Ben, right? That's his real name. And then his game name is Rakshan. He was the one that did the 120,000 gems or Visual saved to do Final Fantasy Tactics banner. Okay, so he clearly went the route of saving enough gems where he completely ignored all the banners, by the way. Right? He did that. Hey, what's up, Vaughn? How you doing? Yo, man, welcome. Yeah, Squawk. I do the same thing. I buy the energy pack, the 99 cents ones, every so often, especially if they're giving me incentive on the dailies, right? Other than that, I don't really spend. I think I spend the 79.9 to get the gems and the skip tickets, because skip tickets are very important for this game. So anyway, so he saved up 120. He actually saved up 148,000, by the way. But he spent some before he summoned because the server went down, server crashed. And so he basically skipped all the banners and he only saved for the banner that he wanted. That's true dedication, by the way. And plus, you guys saw the video that I uploaded. He was very lucky. He got all 3 units. You know, he got the red chocobo card. He got extra copies of the Scion card, all of that crap. Right? On top of it, he had to work on Orlando and Ramza. And he only spent, I think, what? I want to say 46,000 gems. But there are people out there that couldn't get one of those units for 46,000 gems. So there's no way you can there's no way you can plan, there's no way you can prepare, and there's absolutely no way you can save for any units in this game, technically speaking. I know people make content and I'm not against it, right? I'm supporting the community in general. It's also very entertaining to watch. But I'm telling you right now, it makes no sense to even think about saving or all that crap. It boils down to luck. You guys have seen many of my fiancé summoning videos by now. If you haven't, you can watch them all again or go and watch them. She's very lucky in terms of summons. But this time, Eldyra, no matter what we did, we couldn't get her. And it is what it is. You just live with it. That's just, you move on. That's it. Don't think too much about it. Don't dwell on it. And then for those folks that want to quit the game because they saved 60,000 gems for one unit and they didn't get it, well, you know what? What I say to that is, I'm sorry, but it's one of those I told you so, because you cannot save for some unit. You can only hope that you get that unit. People have gotten like Koi in the chat. He probably already left, but he got Eldyra in one pull. Am I right? He got it in one pull. Boom, done. There are people that spent 50 grand and never got her. So. Hey Martin, how you doing? Yes, Ziza has a tremendous, probably the best TMR in the game. But she's really good. If you use her as a Steel Heart, she's quick, she's fast, and she's tanky. So she's an ideal unit if you have her to build her for the Steel Heart abilities. I don't like her for damage. I think her damage is garbage. So we can only hope. Hey Peanut, welcome. Haven't seen you. I was expecting you to be here earlier, but I guess you've been farming, buddy. Okay, I don't have it on video, so you had to take my word for it. When the first Final Fantasy Tactics banner came out, the free summons that we received, you can get Orlando and Ramza. I got Orlando literally on the very first free pull on opening night. Boom, I was done. I was like, okay, RNG, bless me, right? And then 1 week going into building Orlando, I got Ramza. And at that point, I had to spend some cash. And because I wanted to finish Ramza. And then I realized the event's coming back. So I'm like, nah, I don't need to rush. So technically speaking, I could have just not spent a penny and it would have been fine with it. Point is though, is luck. You cannot escape RNG. RNG hits everyone. Like I've seen people spend 80,000 gems and not get a unit. My friend actually, he started playing. He did a 48,000 summon session for Eldyra. Didn't get her. So, and that was the only unit he wanted. That's all he wanted. So, what are you gonna do? He said he'll probably keep playing, but he feels so bummed out because now he has to save more for her to return on an increased rate. But he literally got almost everything else in the game. It's like, Eldyra, nope. I'm not gonna come to you. What are you gonna do? I don't think this game is not the type of game where they nerf things. No, he didn't quit. He just A little bummed out. Like he called me. I was like, "Yo, bro, I didn't get shit. Like, what the fuck?" I'm like, "Well, I know you saved like at least 40K for him." He's like, "Yup." He didn't even spend his gems on building many units, right? He just was waiting for her because she's like gonna be a game changer for him because he doesn't have a lot of time to play the game. So for him, it would have been, for him, quote unquote, been ideal to farm things and shit like that, right? He didn't get her, so what's he gonna do now? I mean, he hasn't quit, but I imagine he wouldn't want to play it much longer since. But I told him, I said, dude, that's just how it is, man. RNG, man. I mean, you're right. Sorry, Martin. I apologize. They did. I mean, I wouldn't call them nerfs per se. I think it's more of a politics move that they did, right? Would you agree? I think many of the moves they did is just like how the Japanese players and the American players view things differently. I watch tons of YouTube content, like Did You Know Gaming? That's a great channel, by the way. You guys should check that out. I mean, it's got millions of subscribers. But they always talk about the changes the Eastern culture, when they bring a game over to the Western culture, they change things, right? Some things are deemed inappropriate, and some things are deemed not culturally appropriate. In the Western culture, we're dealing with things such as gender identification, yada yada yada, right? Those type of things. That doesn't mean they're bad, it doesn't mean they're whatever, but they have to respect that. So the Japanese designers, when they talk with the American folks, when they're bringing that game to the global server, they felt like that was a good move to make. So the Venera wasn't a nerf in terms of, oh my god, this is too OP. No, they did it because they didn't want to segregate people. Just the same reason why they changed Agrias' skill. They wanted to make sure that was politically correct in the Western market. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Exactly. Pan hit it on the head. It wasn't a nerf per se. It was just two different entities for two different markets. And I don't know if we're gonna be getting the bikinis either. And frankly, I'm okay with that. I don't want to worry about bikinis and all that crap. Like, I would be okay with the Christmas stuff because I think that makes perfect sense, right, for the Western market. Bikini things though, like if they're already doing like this, let's not segregate the community in terms of gender identification, all that stuff. If they did a bikini thing, that would just literally wipe the slate, everything they've done up to this point. So I don't think they're gonna bring the bikini stuff. Do I pull, or if I want a unit, I'll go until guarantee pull? I mean, there's guarantee thing is gonna be something in the future. That's something to really think about, right? All these games in their lifespan, they're gonna have to get friendlier in terms of giving away free items. And I think when they start giving you selector tickets, then that's how you know the game is moving towards that direction. And generally speaking, I always emphasize this to everyone who plays the game. Do you need something? Like, do you need this unit badly enough? If you don't need it badly enough, then why are you going after this unit? For what? What would be the reason you're going after a specific unit? Like, spenders will get all the units because they feel like they need to collect, right? They're figuring, I'm already 3 grand in, why not more? What's the difference? But for the average player, you have to ask yourself, why are you doing it? Swimsuits is on, let's go. Actually, Quag, you know what? On the Alchemist code, they had dudes running around almost buck naked, like dudes with all their stuff, you know, tossed around. They just have like, they have bikinis. And I was like, what is this? Why am I playing this game? So yeah, Gumi has done that before. But you have to think about it though, right? Like, why, like seriously, ask yourself, why are you after units? What is the purpose? I feel like I beat the deep dungeon so easily. I'm thinking to myself, wait a second, do I need to build more units? I'm looking at my, okay, I take my phone and I'm looking at my account. I'm thinking, wait a second, I just beat everything in the game. So what else do I need to do now? Right? People ask me, what is your plan, Nash, for the future? I'm like, frankly, I don't think I have a plan. There's no need to have a plan. What the fuck is the plan for? I've beaten everything. Like, I'm farming just for the sake of farming, I realized. I don't need the coral sword. It's not like it's gonna make me more uber, right? I don't want to climb the ladder. I don't want to climb arena. It's pointless. We do have global exclusives, but I think the Christmas units, it makes sense for the Western. I mean, Christmas is pretty much a Western thing, kind of thing, right? Yeah, they do. A lot of games have males. Yes, I don't know what their intentions are. Do they want this game to last kind of like their FFBE, like 4-year anniversary, 5-year anniversary? That's a good point. Depends on how much money they want to make, right? Nash, are you going to max? I am. I'm only 12 shards. Martin, I'm only 12 shards away. And for some weird reason, I haven't been getting any in the Chocobo. But I have 5 days. Worst case scenario, boom. I see him in the shop, I buy it, right? Another worst case scenario, with 3 days left, I simply have to go into a Whimsy shop and boom, just buy it. Honestly, I think this game is good enough that they don't have to milk us at all. Like, you know, they can make $1 million a month, no problem. Even if they do not intend to make this game long haul, but there's no reason not to. They have so many brands that they can bring to this game and make billions over time. Prodigal Son. Yeah, I did talk about that. And that was a topic of conversation a lot of people have. That they actually do it on Japan. People get removed. But Japanese people, in my opinion, are passive aggressive. One thing I've learned is that they will be very kind to you because they need to. But if they have a chance to be very passive aggressive, they will fucking do it in a heartbeat. Like when you ride the subway, if you ride the subway in Japan during rush hours, these motherfuckers will push. They will shove. They don't give a fuck. But normally they will be all courteous and stand there and do what they do. So I think the kicking people out of rooms is definitely something that's obnoxious. But people are gonna do it. People do it now, right? People do it when they see you have a level 97 instead of a 99. So I think that toxicity is already there. I don't honestly like. Let's just be realistic, right? We know the company in their back pocket has Final Fantasy 7. Okay, they have other Final Fantasy like 12. I mean, how can you not have 12? The game is based in the world of Ivalice. Like, how the fuck can you not do that, right? We know they're gonna pull the trigger on Chrono Trigger eventually. Pun intended there, by the way. They're gonna do that. It makes perfect sense to bring the frog into this game. Frog Knight is a legitimate thing in this game, I'm sure. And there are so many units they could do. There's no reason they wouldn't pull the trigger on any of those collaborations in their back pocket. And you know what? Every time they implement one of those collaborations, we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars pouring in. What company in their rightful mind, the whole purpose is to make money? Why would they not do that? FFBE is being milked. Think about that. FFBE is like layers of shit, added on layers of shit every so often. They just keep adding layers of shit. What are they at now? Like Limit Break 100 or some shit, where the units are like level 299 or something stupid. But people are still playing that game, and so people are still spending money. This game is nowhere near the power creep it would be in 6-month period that I've played so many other games, mobile games. So I feel like whoever's managing this brand is doing a crazy ass good job. Whoever's doing it, whoever's pulling the trigger on these decision making, you gotta applaud this person or persons, right? So I don't see a reason why they would want to milk us. I think they can do a really good job if they keep doing what they do. Simply just keep doing what they do. don't worry about power creep, because I think eventually everyone will have attachments to something from their large arsenals of brands, and you're always going to get people to spend money. And I know all of you are doing it. I know you guys are hitting those ad buttons, right? I know you guys are watching ads to get your 90 energy, to get your free skip tickets, and everyone's doing it. And every time you hit the ad, they make money. So I strongly encourage that every player just keep hitting those ads. Just keep hitting them. Just keep watching those ads, you know? If you're watching TV, just hit those ads at that time and then just set your phone down. You're supporting the company. Even if you spend no money on this game, watching the ads is supporting the company. Yes, FAB has NeoVision. Stupid shit, I know. They keep boosting their stuff out. Yeah, the ad system is super clever. And when I noticed that, I was like, yeah, that's a great way. They're making millions just contracting out other companies. That's a great way to generate revenue, man. I'm telling you, Gumi is smart. People at Gumi, they're intelligent. They only make like what, fucking 5 games? 4 games? And they're one of the better companies in Japan. From money perspective. The whole tower thing, monthly tower, I don't agree. Honestly, I play every single game has the tower thing. And so for them, if they did that, it would just be, you know, copying every other person on every other company. And I think the fact that what makes our tower, the Portsmouth Tower, unique is they only bring it so often. So when they bring it, you treat it as an event. And then you spend your time to play that. Of course, Jose, the story is stupid in the first place. There's just a bunch of dudes fighting each other in different kingdoms. There's not much else you need to do to elaborate. All it is you just keep adding new units, and subsequently new units are going to add more story to the currently crappy story that they have. And I think ultimately the microtransactions need to be cleverly done, right? Instead of jacking up prices on random shit that people don't need, I think the way they're injecting the microtransaction is very clever. They're like subtly injecting things every couple of weeks. In my opinion, that's great marketing strategy. Yes, I agree. I think, by the way, in Wang, I don't think I met you, so welcome to the stream, by the way. I think they do need to inject literally a thing that's there every month, that resets every month. Yes, I agree with that 100%. They need to bring something that people can concentrate on at their leisure, right? Everyone can do their own pace instead of the boom, I need to rush this shit because I only got 2 weeks to do it. Yeah, I agree. I think they need to have something stable in terms of farming for different stuff. My suggestion is if they did do something like that, make it unique, right? Don't copy every other game, and give us things that are very useful for us, like energy pots when you reach certain, you know, part of the game, and then give us like shards of units that we can pick. You know what I'm saying? Like even if they were to went back in time and gave us shard selector tickets of older units, I think that makes perfect sense, because that gives an incentive for people to play that, and it keeps people drawn to the game. Like they will play every day instead of mindfully farming shit like we're doing right now. It is low. Enioth, welcome again. It is low, but I think we've been okay with it. I think we've been getting a recipe, I say about every 8 or 10 runs. So yeah, I think Gumi has some bad reputation, and I know some people don't know what I'm talking about, but I've played enough Gumi games to know. But they're not the worst, if I can be fair. There are plenty of shittier companies. Namely, a lot of the Korean companies are definitely worse. They're so bad. Like they're fucking blatant about their atrocious marketing decisions. Netmarble, I'm not sure what country they're from. I think they're Korean. That's a shit company, man. I'm telling you, they made so many terrible decisions. And by the way, Netmarble keep getting like nice IPs and brands, and somehow they manage to fuck it up eventually. So come to us, I think they make a lot of games too. And for me, their Summoner's Wars brand was legit for a while, only because they were the real only company that was making a decent game at that time. But now there's so many better companies making better games. I think they're slowly learning too. I know you do. Yep, thank you for stopping by, man. You gotta get your sleep, gotta get your beauty sleep. Well, I think you're looking at it the wrong way, Peanut. You're looking at it from a perspective, what do you gain out of it by watching their ads? I think you have to look at it from a perspective that if you watch the ads, you get a little bit of love, right? Maybe you get a skip ticket or you get some free energy, but ultimately you're supporting the company. When you watch TV, do you get angry at the TV and call them scams because you deserve something because there's too many commercials? I hope you don't think that way, because if you're watching, let's say, a sporting event or a movie on TV and they play ads, they have to generate revenue for the TV company to keep going. I always thought, how did Hulu survive with no ads? But look what's going on. They put ads, but if you pay a premium, you don't get to see ads. Let's think about this, right? Let's say my channel starts demonetizing. I'm assuming many of you guys will probably turn on your ad blocker. I'm gonna say, fuckers, fuck you assholes, why are you blocking my ads? Because then I get no money, right? YouTube gets no money. So if you are supporting someone, then ideally, I don't want to use the word endure because that sounds terrible, but ideally you wouldn't mind spending the few seconds or minutes, because you're already willing to dedicate, what, half an hour to an hour, whatever, of your own time, which is way more precious than anything else in life. Then you are for sure in supporting someone, right? I feel like if you're watching a little bit of ads, it doesn't really harm you per se, right? Yeah, dude, you're right. If they're charging a lot of money, then yes, I think that's stupid that you have to endure certain things. Yes, I agree with that. But in this case, the option of playing this game is free. You don't have to spend money. The company changes what the market is. But yes, of course. Thanks, Enioth. I would try to keep improving. That's always my goal. I mean, you're right. In certain aspects, you're right, Peanut. Like, if you view something as like they're trying to scam you, yes, some companies definitely do that route. I agree with you. But I don't think Gumi and Square are scamming us, because those are just options. You can clearly not click on any of those ads and you'll be fine. Plenty of games charge boatloads for pools. Yes, you should see some of the games I played in my past. In fact, let's talk about one right now. Lego Legacy Heroes Unboxed. It's more and more turning into a garbage piece of shit game. Every day I log in, I feel like it's a piece of shit game. They have the audacity to try to charge me $100. $100, mind you. Think about this, guys. $100 to level up one unit's gear, right? Imagine if you're asked to spend $100 in this game to buy every single job thing in this game to level up one unit. I think that's ridiculous. $100, right? On top of it, all their new content, the little mini content they inject into the game, they're all catered to spenders. As a free-to-play player, there's no way I can meet the requirement to do those things. So I'm thinking, well, what the hell? Like, do you not understand how mobile gaming works? The other thing I decided to do was, there is no wait time to join guilds in that game. So what I did was I did a test. I literally sat there for 30 minutes while I was on the toilet, by the way, because I had nowhere else to go. So I sat there and quit my guild, and I just kept joining guilds for 30 minutes straight. And you know what I noticed? Almost no guild that I found had people that were fully all like logging in every day. Every guild for 30 minutes straight that I joined. By the way, there's no wait time, so you can just switch guilds like literally within seconds. Every guild has literally 90% of their player base all have quit the game within the last however many days. You just see so many days they haven't logged in. That game is a piece of shit, and they know it's a piece of shit, but yet they rarely spend more money to market that game, and even though they're not improving the game and they're just trying to market the game. It doesn't work because people will see through that bullshit and they're gonna eventually walk away. I don't agree that War of Lions is better than War of Divisions. I think that's definitely an opinion that I can't agree with. So. I used to play Summoner's War. I spent $0, but I tell you, it was such a painful. I've never felt so frustrated playing a game before. Like playing Summoner's War was a very frustrating experience. There were times where it was very happy. I got Zyros. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But I pulled Zyros on Valentine's Day. My fiance clicked the button, boom, I got Zyros. Man, it was such a happy day for me. But that was pretty much the only time I got out of that damn game. That game, I think that game is very toxic. That game is a piece of shit. How's my guild? I don't really have a guild, Jose, but I have a guild that I play with that people who are supporting my channel asked me to join. And right now we have 12 people. So if you would like to join, Jose, I welcome you to join. Do you need the information? I can give it to you. Ashton, thank you. I know. I think I was a little exaggerated. Probably like 15 minutes. I know you're not supposed to. But that's one thing I enjoy. I think maybe it's a dude thing. I know a lot of my friends, they do that. They just hang out on the toilet for a long time. I know it's bad. I know. I'm in the healthcare field. I know. But now I'm cutting down on my time on there. I try to limit to no more than 10 minutes. Okay, Jose. So after this, a few more runs, then I'm gonna show you my guild information in the game, okay? And then you can just kind of join whenever you want to. But the only thing we ask is that you're a daily player. Just make sure you don't have long days where you just decide you don't want to play the game. But if you do, just make sure you communicate with the guild leaders that you're going on vacation or what have you. That's it. At some point, loot box will be legally considered gambling. I think many, gacha is gambling, right? Hey, listen, look at this. I'm getting some host bonuses on those recipes. Yeah, gambling is gambling. I mean, everything is gambling, right? Life is gamble. So. Yeah, especially now, like when I think I quit around the time when they released skins and when they did the, what do you call it? The live PvPs, real-time PvPs. It's so toxic. It's such a toxic game because it really catered to luck, RNG. And I hate games that revolves around RNG rather than skills. And that game wasn't really about skills. I think it did raise my blood sugar. It really did. I'm the type of person that can normally control my anger, but man, I really thought about tossing my phone across the room many times. And do you guys remember the time when you used to do those Hall of Heroes where you had to sit there and farm the shards for those units that they were given to us for free, the 4 stars? But then later on they implemented a system where you only have to farm for like a few times and you're done. But before that, you have to literally spend the entire weekend diligently farming it. I don't know what those people were smoking when they created that game. Okay, I'm all for the grind, right? I'm all for the whole grinding concept and being rewarding. But that wasn't nice of what they did in terms of implementing certain things. And I'm glad some of the quality of life features they did later on was good, but just you always beg to ask, what the fuck were they thinking in the beginning, right? Why would they want to put people through that kind of torture? And I look at it as torture, really. Like, I literally told my fiance, I'm gonna spend this entire fucking weekend farming for this shit. And God, I love her so much because she puts up with so much of the shit that I do. Like, that's not healthy, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how I know she's my soulmate, because she literally puts up a lot of the shit that I do. Fun and new update every week. Most of the maps are used, so new, fun. Yeah, don't know how grinding some map 2Ks. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Are you talking about this game, or are you talking about other things? Watching the AI in this game. Yeah, sometimes it does. Like, when you're watching, this is why Wong, oh, look at this shit, look at that, guys. This is why it pays to be a host nowadays. But yeah, I agree. That's why on my spinner account, when I do arena, I just go pick an enemy that I think I can beat, skip, then I'm done. I don't even look at the AIs. Fuck that. Yes, you're right, There's certain aspect about this game that is not fun, right? We all know it. We deal with it. But, I mean, I'm all ears when it comes to things like that. Like, can you think of ways that they can improve? Ooh, 4 swords, big baller. Yeah, I'm balling tonight, man. I'm already at 30, dude. I'm halfway done. I don't plan on farming all night, by the way. I'll stream as long as there's still people wanting to hang out. My fiance went to bed early. That's why I planned this out. I was watching the Lakers game earlier because I knew that game was an early game. And then I decided that I just want to... Oh, shit. So then I decided I just want to stream. You guys like my big baller cup? It's Hello Kitty, by the way. And so I figure I just hang out. This is kind of like my socializing, man. This is my way to socialize with people. Well, here's how I look at it, We're not really grinding for anything useful, right? Because this sword is not a necessity, but we do it because this is something to do. And I agree with you on that. I think you make valid points that we need to implement, just like someone said earlier, we need to implement things that are there as a stable. So that way we have things to look forward to do in terms of accomplishments. But their system is what causes the flaw, which is the equipment system. And subsequently is causing this grinding system in which we must grind 63 recipes if you want the max out weapon. On top of it, you must grind for the materials to level up that said equipment. And we all know it's a shitty system. So unless they change that system, the grinding aspect will not change. But adding a permanent thing or permanent things to the game in which we can do besides the grindy shit, I don't see that as a detrimental. I think that's a great idea. I think they need to take their time to make sure they do it well, though. I guess that's like, we should, I would totally get banned for this, but we should definitely do arena and take bets about how all the units are gonna move around during my arena matches, because some of the AIs are definitely questions like, what the fuck is this unit doing? Why are you doing this? I don't understand your choice of why you're doing that, right? I agree. It can be entertaining. This is why I enjoy making arena videos for such a long time. I think I should go back and make more arena videos. Because the AI is so dumb. It's so dumb that sometimes you're like, what the fuck? No, I'm not in LA, Clark. I'm in Florida. It's the NBA playoffs. I watch every game. But next week, or this Sunday, it's football season. So I'll be watching football games. So again, I'll be moving my stream around in accordance to sports. in my fiance's schedule, really, in my work schedule. This is why, another reason why I'm not venturing into Twitch, because as soon as I step into Twitch, I realize you have to kind of sort of pseudo-dedicate yourself to it, stick into a schedule, because if you want to make money off of Twitch, you have to stream a certain amount of hours, right? So, and I'm not ready for that, to be honest. So we'll do 2 more runs, and then I'm gonna do a quick ad for my recruiting for my guild, and then we'll go back and farm a little bit more. But I think I need to stop soon because I'm getting hungry, and I don't, unless you guys want to watch me eat on stream, which generally is something I don't do, but it's time to take a break. Actually, you know what? I forgot what the term is called where people watch other people eat. That's a real thing. I thought about it, actually. Can you imagine I come onto stream and just open up the wrapper of a Chick-fil-A sandwich? Actually, I was in LA. I was not in LA. I was in California last year. Oh man, what about In-N-Out Burger? Oh man, those burgers were pretty good. Those burgers, I must say, they were pretty good. I love Wendy's. I love Wendy's a lot. I love Chick-fil-A, obviously. They just built one near my house, and I've been having some self-control not to go to Chick-fil-A every day. I like the Whopper too, and I used to love Checkers or Rallies, whatever you guys know. The fries and their chicken sandwiches, man, I used to live off of that stuff. By the way, they're horrible for you, man. High blood pressure, diabetes, all that shit. Are you a Dolphins fan? No, I'm not. I am a Steeler. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. They do? So like people just stream for fun, so they don't do it for the money, they just do it to do what I'm doing, basically. All right, so how many runs did I say? 3 more runs? So 3 more. By the way, anybody want to join? I got slot for 1 more. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll give it a shot, like, you know. Well, Florida has its benefits, right? No state tax. That's nice. But we do have high property tax. So when you buy a house, it's high property tax. And the weather is definitely dreadful. Mukbang, yes, it is called mukbang. Thank you very much. But you know what's great about Florida though? We get like 2 months a year that's like perfect weather, man. Perfect. You can wear shorts, don't have to turn on your AC, almost no humidity. It just feels great. Yeah, I'll probably just take a break and just call it a night. And later, you know, a little bit. Because I cooked my rice maybe like an hour and a half ago. I got my roasted pork going. I made some curry a couple of days ago, so. I love curry. Curry is so good. You know what's a really good meal? Like a really good meal is whole wheat bread with peanut butter, some banana slices in it, and some fruit. Like I used to eat that a lot when I used to go to the gym a lot, and it actually made me lose weight. Food porn. Is that what it's called? I hope not, because I know a lot of people enjoy that kind of stuff. Like I think the big ones are the ones where like people like to watch like really skinny girls and they eat all kinds of food. I guess that's called food porn, right? Yeah, I guess. Man, there's some crazy stuff out there going on, yeah. There's this one guy, I watch him, he looks like this, like, I don't know. He's like this young kid looking, he's really like skinny, he's very pale complexion. and he reviews like all this fast food. Like that's all he does on a video, and he wears a suit when he does a review. It's very weird. It's very odd. But he gets a lot of subscribers, gets a lot of views. I'm sure he makes a living doing it because I'm at 34. And I just thought that was very interesting that he does that. Like, that he just sits there and reviews fast food on YouTube. And he has like 1 million subscribers or something insane. Alright, so we got one person leave. We can get one more. If not, we can run 2 people, no problem. We can give you guys a couple of minutes then. If not, then I'm gonna have to shut it down, Ashton, and then I'll do the guild promotion thing for Jose. Okay, never mind. Master Pug. Welcome, Master Pug. That is sexy right there. Level 99. Let me look at you real quick, man. If this is not maxed, oh my god. Why did you max this and not max this? My question. Very nice. Super nice sword, by the way. Master Pug, whoever you are, that's a sexy, sexy creature you got going on there. I agree. There is an audience for everything. This is what I heard on the radio the other day. This guy, it's a guy. He figured out that he has very nice feet. Okay? He has very nice soles of his feet. So he decided to take to Instagram, and that he wants to make videos and charge people monthly fee, by the way, monthly fee, where he just sits around and he just shows off his feet to people. And he says that it's mostly guys who subscribe to him, and he charges $4 grand a month. That's his subscription fee, $4,000. And he's making a living doing this, where he just sits in his house and he shoots him sitting on the couch or what have you, and he's lounging and he's just wiggling his toes, moving his feet around. Now, I haven't seen any of the footage, obviously, but I keep hearing it on the radio. I'm thinking, man, my feet are pretty hideous, so I couldn't do that, but I wouldn't mind doing that for a living. If I have 10 subscribers that pays me $4 grand a month each, I make 6 figures. I make more than 6 figures. I make 400K, wait, 4,000 a month? Yeah, just 10 people subscribe, that's 40K. 40K multiplied by 10K, 10 months? You make 400K plus the 2 months, that's another 80K. You make $500,000 a year if you have 10 people subscribe. Those are some amazing feet. That's what I'm saying. Like, these must be golly feet that people really have some sort of fetish that they will pay 4K a month. I hope this is not made up, but there's no reason for them to make this up. It's not April Fool's. $4,000 a month. That's some super golly feet. That's $400 per toe. It is. It's $400 per toe. Each time he wiggle his toe is $400. Oh man, I'm just thinking to myself. I know there's a foot thing out there. I used to have a foot thing myself, but I wouldn't pay $4 grand a month. I mean, he must be catering to the elite wealthy that are getting this fetish thing. I don't know. It's weird, right? If you think about it, it's just freaking weird. I think in my next lifetime, I will definitely do something like that. I don't know. I think that may be kind of the wrong attention you're getting. And there's a lot of crazy people out there, man. I can't imagine like if somebody would go as far as to try to meet this person and mess with him in real life, you know. But streaming and things like that in this day and age, it's pretty commonplace. So You get paid. What the market? Yeah. But I don't think I want to show any body parts to make cash. This seems I mean, unless I know for a fact, right? If people are willing to pay me, you know, let's say $100 a month to look at my toes. Sure, I'll do it. Why not, right? Give me like 10 subscribers, that's 1K. Give me like 100 subscribers, that's 10K. Imagine all I have to do is sit there for however number of days per week, and all I do is just sit there and wiggle my toes. Maybe I can just sit there and watch TV. I could just watch the Lakers game and sit there and wiggle my toes. Of course, I have it on mute, right? Crazy world we live in, right? This is the millionaires, they have the crazy fetishes. I mean, we judge, right? People always say, you know, as kids, I grew up, I was told not to judge people. Fuck that. We all judge. We are like the judge and jury pretty much when we look at things in life. We just assume things. We judge and we assume. You see a pretty girl, right? It's like you see they have all this nice stuff. You automatically assume things start running through your head. See a handsome guy, skinny, model looking, you probably have things running through your head, things like that. And then, or if you see a couple or something, it is what it is, right? I think humans in general, we're a very odd species. We make excuses for ourselves. Like, you know how people say, oh, you're only human and mistakes happen. Man, no, I think people make mistakes because they let mistakes happen. A lot of times. Not all the time, a lot of times. And sometimes in certain lines of work, you can't afford to make mistakes. But generally speaking, if I have kids, I think I wouldn't raise my kids a lot of the ways that the Western culture try to raise their kids, you know, to do certain things and say certain things. I think I have to be realistic for the most part. At least when they get a little bit older, right? Not when they're like super young, but you know, when they get to the teens, I have to just be realistic with them. Just say the truth. I know they're not going to agree with things because I know I didn't agree with everything I was taught when I was younger, but I was also that kid that, you know, rather stay at home, play games than go out and do stupid shit. You know, I didn't like drugs or any of that stuff. I was that kid that stay at home, play Final Fantasy Tactics. You know, I never really enjoyed drugs. Drugs always fuck me up. So I'd rather just hang out. I guess I'm a homebody, and I get scared of things pretty easily. I guess I'm one of those persons that when I watch like a movie, like a horror movie or something, I will always envisioning that happening in real life and stuff like that. Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, you can judge to a certain extent, right? And most of the time you can be proven 100% right, or you're just shit wrong right off the bat. But I tell you, I don't enjoy horror movies. I think during Cabbage's little Q&A video, the one he did about games, he says he likes horror movies. Nah, man, shit. And he's Japanese, so a lot of the horror movies out there are like straight up fucked up, man. The Japanese ones, like the Thai ones, just Asian ones in general, man. Fuck, man. I remember when I first watched The Ring, it freaked me out so much. Like, I just can't stand that, the scariness of the lady, the black hair and the white clothing. That shit just freaks me out, man. Like, I can handle like slasher movies and nonsense movie like Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers and shit like that. But man, when you throw a fucking movie at me with that Asian girl with the face all covered up with all the black hair and then just show the little eyes bring on that fucking scary look. Oh man, I would fucking get a heart attack and shit. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing. Like, I remember when Silent Hill was huge. One of my buddies, he would play Silent Hill, and there would be like, what, 8 of us? We were all just sitting in the room, and we'd turn all the lights off, and they would just be playing Silent Hill. And the rest of us would just sit there and watch, but then we'd be like smoking or, you know, whatever. And eating snacks, whatever. So for me, that was okay. I can handle that, but I can't handle watching this shit in my house where everything's all dark and boom, this nasty shit jumps out. Man, fuck that. That will throw a big loop in myself, man. And the thing is, I have a very vivid imagination. Like, that's why I was able to do well in school, is because when I see and I read the notes and I study, like, I can memorize it really well. And so if I see imagery, right, it literally gets embedded in my brain for a very long time, and it usually doesn't go away. Yeah, I agree, man. The Asians are more like, it's more disturbing and it fucks you up psychologically for long periods. Whereas Western is just blood and gore and boom, it fucks you over right there and then you walk away and you're like, whatever. Like, I remember watching The Exorcist, and that shit fucked me up for a bit too. But then I thought about it. It's like religion stuff, right? You know, again, I don't like talk too much about it, but that shit could be fucking you over for real, you know? The same thing with like murderers and slashers, that could be real. But like ghosts and shit, if that shit was real, I don't know what I'd do. Like, I always tell people, if I see a ghost coming at me or some kind of freaky shit, my natural instinct is I want to fight, right? Fight or flight, right? You want to punch that bitch in the face. And if your hands is going through the lady, right? Your hands punches through her face, you know you're dead. There ain't nothing else you can do. You're done. What the fuck? You can't kill a ghost, right? So that's what I recommend people. If people try to play a prank on you or there's something you're encountering, natural instinct is just punch it or kick it or hit it with a fucking brick or something. And if that shit goes through that entity, whatever, then you're fucked, man. Prepare to die. That's all I gotta say. But fear is our most primal instinct, so a lot of people enjoy it. Alright, this is the last run, and then if Jose is still here, I'm going to show him my guild stuff. And then we'll farm maybe just a little bit more, and then I'll stop. Well, the thing is, I don't really have too many horror stories because I only work with children. You know what I mean? Like, there hasn't been a lot of things that I've seen that are like nightmarish. But when I was a student, I did work with adults. I had no choice. And there were some, I'm not gonna lie, man, there was some shit that I could definitely sit here and tell you I don't want to live through that again. But in general, I don't see a lot of guts, gore, or anything like that. I've seen some really nasty wounds in my time, but I'm not a type of person that enjoys that kind of stuff. I have a lot of conversations with other healthcare workers, and many of them tell me that they love changing wounds, and I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck? Who the flying fuck would enjoy changing wounds and dressings and shit? That's one thing I can't stand doing. So if I get like this person that comes to me, you know, this kid or adult, whatever, and they have like nasty wounds and I gotta change the dressing. Luckily, I haven't really changed too many dressings in my life. I have done it, just not many. I tell you, man, when you smell rotten flesh, whew, that shit don't go away, man. And the other thing is, like, I don't know if those of you have ever smelled C. diff. That is a fucking smell that doesn't go away in your brain. Like, your brain registers that nasty funk, and it's just there in your brain for the rest of your life. And then the next time you smell it again, you will never forget. And that's how I knew right away. Many times I smell C. diff because my dog had it. And right away, when I brought my dog to the vet, I said, listen, my dog has C. diff, so just give me what you need to give me and let's just get on with it. And then, of course, my dog decided to take a diarrhea inside of the vet's room. And of course, it stunk up the whole room. And the doctor's like, the vet is like, yeah, that's definitely C. diff. I'm like, I know. I've smelled enough C. diff in my life. But yes, smelling shit is definitely one of the things that if you can handle. Okay, I'm gonna disband the room real quick, do my public service announcement, and then we'll get back into it. So Jose, if you are still in the room, I'm gonna give you the information, okay? So this is Cosa Nostra, COSA space NOSTRA. You see it here. All you gotta do is apply and just need to be active. And then once you're in, we'll give you the Discord information and you can more than welcome to go in there. Everyone's very helpful. And so, yeah, we just ask you to do guild battles and have fun, really. Just be a daily player. A lot of the players in this guild are actually folks that have been watching my channel. So there's like, I would say 50% in this guild are as a result of the channel. And then in our Discord, we actually have other YouTubers in there hanging out with us sometimes. And there are people from other guilds. A lot of them are just whales or dolphins or whatever. And so a lot of people have different inputs on different units and vision cards and stuff like that. So it's a great place to kind of gain information and knowledge about the game. No, Quack. I'm not Bodega, man. No, Quack. I am not Bodega. I am me. This is me. How can you not see that? This is me. And this is him. Lord. There's no way I would see you. You probably in the top arena and shit. You probably fought Bodega. Bodega is the guild leader. He is definitely a dirty whale. We call him Dirty Whale, by the way. He's like rank 20 and shit in arena. He's always up there. So I get a lot of input from him. He tells me a lot of things about units that he built. And he builds a lot of them. And so I kind of like go to him for like specific builds what he thinks works for PvP purposes. You know, for PvP, obviously I can figure that on my own. But for PvP purposes, if I'm like talking about it and things like that, yeah. I know, Quag, I was thinking you got too excited, man. But yeah, Jose, check us out, man. Like if you have other friends, whatever, you know, you guys are more than welcome. We don't have a lot of players because many of you guys know this game always gets to the point where, you know, people make guilds and shit and half the people fucking quit. And then it becomes to the point where everyone's recruiting. And recruiting is very hard in this game, I've learned. So, yeah, he is hardcore. He is very hardcore. He's a good guy, though. He's very open-minded. You know, if he is learning about something, he'll definitely admit to it. That he's learning, you know, or he doesn't know. He's not going to sit there and bullshit you. And I appreciate people like that. Big time. Alright, let's go back to farming for maybe I say like, let's do another 20 minutes. And then I'm going to go eat. And then watch some, wait a second, wrong one. And then I'll go watch some Forensic File. That's like my go-to show. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to get into the room. Yeah, no problem. And we're a 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Guild Wars. I believe that's global server, right? So, yeah, man, he's a really cool guy. Like, he works in the medical field as well. I think he's like some kind of director or something. So he gets a good flow of cash. And he's not afraid to spend. And he showed me pictures of his account. He's a big time whale, man. He's a big time whale. But he's not like conceited. Super nice guy, man. Super nice guy. I'm glad I joined this guild because him and the other sub leader, like they made me sub leader. He says, you know, we want you to join the guild and we'll give you the sub leader. I'm like, okay. I mean, I don't do shit for the guild, to be honest. But I enjoy going into the Discord and just have a good time chatting with people. And like I said, people come in and out of our Discord a lot. And there's some folks that have been giving me some really good inputs and things like that. So I got to credit where a lot of the stuff that I've learned from them. there was this huge debate, so to speak, with the Eldara unit. I kept saying she's not really worth it, and some people were trying to point to me like how good she was and things like that. And so that's why I was kind of like trying to sell her to the community as well, because I think she is a great unit. And I'm not lying, she's a gorgeously designed unit. Like, I think she's very well designed unit. And her animation for her limit break, it's just simply awesome. Like, I love it. I would turn on my animation when I farm just so I can see that. And I think she's very good if you manual with her, because her limit break is it increases CT of your team or some shit like that, right? But she's so fast. So when she does it in the beginning, I think it's not that useful in certain situations, but can definitely shift combat really fast if she can do it to the point where your team goes first. But if you think about it, in arena, that's pointless. Going first doesn't mean shit in the beginning, right? You just kind of move into the engagement zone first. It doesn't mean anything. But for maybe for PvP, or I guess they call them match play, I think that could be crucial. So I think she could be good for that. I don't know, time will tell. And then Fucus is the other guy. He's the other sub leader. He's a cool guy too, super cool guy, man. But I think he's been quite busy. I don't really get to talk to him that often. But there's some other people that always supporting my channel. There's Tao. There's Alpha. Who else? There's a few guys that I recruited through streams and things like that, and they're very happy in this guild, so everyone's pretty happy. And we do pretty well in PvP, or not PvP, Guild Wars. People, generally speaking, log on around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and they get their battles out of the way most of the time, and we usually figure out if we win or lose within the first hour. Yeah, and that's why I think like agility in arena seems a bit off, like in terms of boosting your agility. But I think in match play, that's pretty important to have a lot of agility. Yeah, I'm learning that too. I know I bashed Mediana lately, but Mediana can be a nasty beast if you tweak her AI, right? Getting her to buff in the first couple of turns is so much more crucial than have her run into the beginning. And that's why earlier when I was streaming, when I was trying to use Delita, he just runs to the beginning because his equipment efficiency is not high enough to equip Trustmasters. So literally he just go up to the beginning and just gets killed. That's a sign of not being ready for arena. And I think that's the hard part about this game. You cannot actually showcase off units until much later when you have everything ready for actual matches. So content creating for this game is actually quite challenging at times. But nevertheless, I love this game. And eventually I do want to add other games. I've already attempted that. But given my subscriber count, I don't think I'm ready for that, for this channel. Not ready to play multiple games and feature them on the channel, because the best time to do that would be a brand new game coming out and that a lot of people are anticipating, maybe preferably from Square Enix as well, and then play that game and then draw a lot of those viewers in to increase the channel subscriber rate. Because one thing I learned is if I gain some subscribers from playing those other games, then you're forcing people to watch content. You know, there are subscribers watching content, or not force them, but it will pop up on their subscriptions. And some people don't enjoy that. Some people do, some people don't. I mean, most people just obviously ignore it. So. Hey, Second, how you doing, buddy? Ketone usually runs directly into combat with no thoughts for her own life. No, Ketone though is stupid funny though. She dodges most of the time, and she's thick. She's thick enough that she doesn't usually die, right? One step at a time. I know, right? Patience is virtue for real. And I tried streaming different games. Like I was really big into Sino Alice. I was like, what a piece of shit game though when I started playing. So that died off pretty quickly. And then the Lego Legacy game I tried to stream because it was easy to stream. But that game is just a piece of shit in general, I think. So it's a shame though, because I love Lego. But I think Delita will be fun once I get Reina. But again, that might be months. That might be months. Thick thighs. Yeah, she's so thick, she can take some hits. I've gotten slaughtered by Ketone so many times. Hell, I got slaughtered by Shadow Link so many times. I just don't get it. How they're kicking my ass. I mean, if you think about it, I should be one-shotting them. So clearly, gear, equipment, whatever, definitely make a humongous difference when it comes to like content, right? Because what do they call it? It's the battle of attrition. So if they're surviving with 100 HP, they're still going to be able to kill you, regardless of how badass your unit is, how badass your unit everybody thinks is, or how S tier your unit is on your tier list and all that bullshit. Fuck off with that, man. Like, that's why I love this game, because it's literally outside of the box when it comes to an actual gacha game. This game is so balanced. It's such a well-designed game. And I know there are a lot of flaws, right? We've been talking about the flaws of this game lately. But this game, in my opinion, is super balanced when it comes to design. Still got a lot of things they can perhaps improve on. But the foundation is so well laid out on this game. Sure, farming is a tedious thing. I agree. Equipment is definitely, you know, the culprit in that. And of course, they can add some features that are more stable, you know, on a daily basis, such as the books should be implemented as a normal farming thing. Maybe like some sort of quote-unquote tower kind of thing that can be implemented per month to give you monthly rewards. For example, let's say we do this tower or some sort of dungeon or some sort of quest that we can do every month, and we can beat it and we can get rewarded with a unit selector ticket, right? Like, how is that gonna harm people? It's not. For free-to-play players, we're restricted on number of gems we gain. So therefore, we cannot build UR units fast enough, regardless of what units we get. But for whales, it doesn't hurt them either way because they're spending cash, right? And they're gonna be buying tons of things to build their units with. So it doesn't hurt at all if you're giving everyone units every month. One copy of a unit is not going to do any harm. Like, that's 40 shards. That's 2,000 gems. They give us that in a weekly basis. Build her for Drain Force. Yeah. Yeah, vision cards with abilities. Yeah, you're right. That is something I've noticed as well. Like, I hope that's not but here's the other thing, right? I know what you guys are saying, but if you quickly think about it, vision cards are very restrictive. Am I right? Most players cannot build UR vision cards. Imagine, they're giving us an opportunity on global server, which I'm pretty sure they did not do on Japanese server, to fully max out a Scion card, which by many people's standards is one of the best cards in the game. I beg to differ because, again, agility has been proven that is not something you need to rely on in terms of arena. But in literally every other situations, agility is sick and stupid good. Because I've taken multiple turns in PvE content where I'm just taking turns killing the enemy and none of them has taken a turn. So I can definitely see the power behind agility boost for your entire party. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing, it will take you a very long time and some serious dedication to get that Scion card maxed out. Well, almost all of your gems. So what that means is you're gonna have to stop working on pretty much everything else in the game and just kind of play the game and just play. And really make no impact. But at the same time, you're gonna be watching those ads. You're gonna be generating revenue for the company. So again, doesn't hurt the company. For a for a spender, chances are a lot of them are not going to go after every single UR card, because you're talking about spending perhaps $5,000 a month to go after all of the vision cards and maximizing them. Again, not very realistic. So just because they keep releasing vision cards, it doesn't mean it's going to harm the game or power creeping to the point in which it's going to drastically fuck the game over, right? So if you think about it in those terms, UR cards is kind of like their own entity. Each of us is going to most likely have to pick and choose the UR cards we're most likely going to be working on for months. And we're talking about months, seriously, months. And already established that most players, in fact, cannot even max out any UR cards, period. Unless we're talking about years down the road, right? So we're forced to really play with UR cards that are perhaps Awakening 1, Awakening 2, and that's where most people are. And of course, the heavy spenders, let's call them that, are going to be the ones that are going to have outrageous vision cards, outrageous accounts, and chances are 99.99% of us are never going to meet them in Arena. So what does it matter? Who cares? I think Dex does increase accuracy, if I'm not mistaken, because in all RPGs, dexterity always increases range, attack, and accuracy. So that would make sense if it was coded that way in this game. Yeah, I don't think Dex is like directly attributes to one accuracy or something like that. So personally, I don't think the power creep in the vision cards are going to be an issue to think about. Now, what I will have an issue with will be if they're power creeping the units. So for example, let's say the best physical attacker in the game is currently at, say, I don't know, 300 base attack, and they give us a fucking unit literally by Christmas that's 600 base attack, then I have to say they're fucking the game over like that. So exactly, Wong, you're doing something a lot of players are doing, and personally I don't do it. I don't see the reason to. I got it to 2 stars and it's good enough for me, and I'm a light spinner doing that. I didn't feel like going all out on it. No reason to. So you want to know how much to hit those ninjas? Exactly. I agree. I think MR cards are much more worthy of investing fully. And that was why it got me thinking, well, how else am I going to be obtaining these cards besides summoning? Right? So that's why I did that video for the normal summons. The very first time I did a normal summon video, I didn't think of it that way. But then the second time I realized vision cards is so important in this game. It's pretty much what we should be all striving for. Second, I'm not really sure, to be honest. I'm sure you can look that up somewhere. Exactly, and the thing is, you can actually stack agility, right? So a personal endowed plus a party is stacked. So then if you equip secret orders, then you can get more agility. So it makes that one unit super fast, so to speak. So that's the thing, that card is really good because of the fact that it adds accuracy to your team, but there's already a card that does that. And I think at max it adds 6 or 8 accuracy to the team. I'm not exactly sure what the 2-star adds at, that Blade card adds at 2 stars, but that's the card I use for everything. That I think is the rare card that I already featured in my video. It adds 20 something accuracy to individual and then 8 or 6 accuracy for the team. It has helped me quite a bit because it's important to have accuracy against those stupid fucking thieves if you're not using Holy or Sharpshoot. And my Mediana hits at 100% accuracy against those thieves. So that's what made the run so easy in terms of doing the deep dungeon. My Mediana is actually not even fully geared, right? My ring is not maxed. The Alexandria ring is not maxed, even on my spinner's account. I know some people use different ways to get +5 Alexandria, which by the way, I will not reveal how they did it because that's, you know, their secret. But if you had that, it adds a lot of accuracy, right? I don't have that. Rain got turned into stone. Sorry, man. But yeah, my Mandiana hits at 100%, so I had no issues with the stages. So you just have to make sure you dig through your vision cards and pick the ones that benefits you a lot, and then you can be able to clear content a lot easier. I had a harder time on this account because I could not handle some stages because my main tank Mont was heavily targeted by those wind units, and that is rough because he takes a lot of damage. Yeah, it's hard. I know there are people out there that have 2 +5 Alexandria rings. But I also know they're secret, and that's not something I want to do myself, so I don't bother. But you have to ask yourself, is it going to make that much of a difference? And the answer is probably not. Yeah, raids is very... I think raids increases my blood pressure because like I feel like I want to do it, but at the same time I know I don't want to get into it. and so when the Twin Dragon comes, you'll hear me making videos about it, man. And the reward is garbage if you're not using for PvP purposes. The Twin Dragon raid is going to be ribbon, and the ribbon increases stop resistance and one other resistance. I think it's stop and slow, if I'm not mistaken. And we all know there's tons of units now that use stop, right? Like the ninjas, Agrias. I think, is it Agrias? No, not Agrias. Delita and Warrior of Light. So those units all have stop abilities. So this one gives you 50% resist, right? So is that a must own for arena / PvP? Maybe. I talk about arena, you can just skip those teams, like avoid them. But in higher tier arena, you can't skip people, right? You have to fight somebody. And so, exactly. So that's why the ribbon is really good in PvP or match play, as they call it. But then if you think about it, do you really give a shit about stop in normal content, like PvE content? And the answer is no, you don't. You don't care. What do you need it for? Yes, Agrias has it, exactly. Yeah, sorry, yes. So all the new units have it basically, and the ninjas have it. So ninjas are always obnoxious in match play. So then yes, you will need it to counter those stupid ass units. But here's the question you have to ask yourselves individually. Do we care about stop or slow in PvE, right? You have to ask yourself, do we care? And the answer is no. Because when you face that content, you can simply swap out something else to target those enemy units. But in match play, you don't know, and you don't know who you're going up against. So therefore, you're only anticipating you're going up against those units. And believe you and me, that two-headed dragon grind, you're gonna be wasting a lot of pots. Like even Cabbage, I think it was Theorycraft Gaming that was talking about it. And Cabbage went on to his channel to make a comment saying he stopped at +3 ribbon. He says the grind was just too much, that he spent way too much energy to try to do it, and even then it's hard to do. So that's why I keep saying is Global going to fix that when they bring it to us? Because people are not going to be happy with that event. I guarantee you, if they maintain what they did for it. So then realistically speaking, if you think about it, then I'm going to not give a fuck about that at all. Like, I don't care about it. I don't need the ribbon. If I even do just enough to get like a normal ribbon, that's good enough. I don't care. Why do I care about stop? Why do I care about slow in PvE? Right? Unless you're facing literally 10 ninjas that all they do is stop your whole team, then yes, you will lose to them. But you have the ability to be very flexible on your team when you're doing PvE content. Right? Right? You can have other ways to defeat them rather than relying on an accessory. By the way, you don't have to farm all 5 if you want your whole team to avoid stop. So it's always going to be like, you can always just create dodge mechanics in which they can't even hit you. If they can't hit you, they can't inflict status ailments for the most part. So that's something to really always talk about in discussion. But I know there are people out there that don't care what people say. They're still going to go after it hardcore. And many of them eventually regret it, and then they're gonna quit the game because they're burned out and whatever. I don't like that. I don't like to push myself on a game that could be not even relevant in, you know, in a year or so, right? You always have to think of it that way. In the grand scheme of things, why push yourself so hard for such little gain in the short duration? Like every game you guys have played in the past, you imagine that. No matter how hard you push yourself, then you eventually quit the game. Wait, does it? Status ailments ignore dodge? How is that possible though? Because many of the extra ailments has to land a hit, doesn't it? That doesn't seem right. Because for example, when you use a sword and it has a status ailment, you have to physically land the hit in order for that to proc. But if you're talking about actual spell, the spell still has to land. That cannot be right either, because, okay, I use Mariana all the time, right? So when you turn someone into a toad, you look at the percentages. Right? When you cast a spell, like, don't you see it on the screen? It says the percentage. Because if you think about it, what if someone's immune? In Ayaka we trust. And just do +2 on some raid. Well, here's the thing is though, like if you plan on hardcore PvPing and arenaing, all that stuff, yes, a plus ribbon is definitely probably a must in many situations. So those type of players are gonna do it regardless. That's interesting, because I know Charm has a percentage though. All I know is percentage. I think all I know is that because of the formula, right? Because we have to take their faith, your enemy's faith, and then you have to look at their resistances. So for example, my guy is 97% in terms of faith, or 97 in faith. So when I did the dungeons, I had a 97% chance to land steel hard. But if they have higher resistances, then they have a less chance to land. So then does it determine the evade mechanic, right? Because I'm pretty sure evade mechanic also applies to enemy landing hits in terms of magical attack, both physical attack and magical attack, right? Because we know casters in this game have very low accuracy. So dodge mechanic works well against them unless they stack up on accuracy. But if status ailment's a completely different thing, then then really it's just about stacking resistances, right? Then yes, then many things will make more sense that way. Okay, if that is the case, then that means charm is Steel Heart is a completely separate equation on its own. But I think we're referring to then other status elements like Petrify, Toad, Sleep, things like that. I know some of those are attached to weapons, so weapons has to land a hit, and then it triggers or proc the status element. But like a spell, pure sleep spell, does that still count as a landing hit, or does it count as faith? That's interesting to learn though, if charm is its own thing. That's probably why people really enjoy building those thieves for charming. And I was one sold on that fact, because having that Zazan really helped me, and that's why I'm building other thieves now, so I can have multiple charmers. Can you imagine you're going up against enemy thieves like you did on that EX stage, and then you have 2 charmers, boom, you just start charming everybody, and then those thieves subsequently just run around charming their whole team. I'm pretty sure spells have hit chances, because spells cannot have a positively 100% hit chance, other than Holy and Sharpshoot. Hey Kyle, how you doing? I think you're new, so welcome. But the +5 thing, it's good on certain things, okay? For example, the Platinum Rod. I highly suggest getting +5. There's absolutely no reason not to. But for other things, it's just extra. For example, like perhaps evasion. If evasion doesn't stack, then yes, having a little bit on one item doesn't mean shit, right? But getting the extra attack power boost on a Platinum Rod or any weapon, it's a lot of extra damage you're doing output. So a +5 is way more worthy of getting in terms of not necessarily min-maxing, but just doing more output. Nah, mate, charmers are just we're gonna make whales suffer. Amen to that. Sounds like you have a lot of experience against those free-to-play players using charmers against your team. Spells have hit chances, but I was speaking in regards to sleep. Oh, okay, alright. Then I think that makes sense, because I think it's purely based off enemy resistances versus your spell. That's it. Then that makes okay sense. I'm okay with that. Yes, exactly. The faith and then the resistances. So pretty much status ailments without an actual landing a hit per se to deal damage are based off of faiths and then resistances. So the higher the faith, the higher the chance of receiving status ailments. So maybe it's better to balance some healers to have 70 faith rather than 97 faith then. That makes sense, and plus the fact that they have high evade, since it completely ignores evade, and therefore you can charm them. So now we're all making perfect sense. I agree, Kyle. I didn't even bother farming multiple copies of the Sortilege. Yeah. I didn't bother farming the Ross either because I didn't have a gunner. But now I have multiple gunners because I have, what's his name? Mustadio. He's a gunner. And his gun is sweet as hell. It lowers your evasion. Is there a gun that deals, is there a gun that does charm? I would love to have that gun. I know there's the bow that does it. But I'm pretty sure gunners can't equip bows. I think you have to be a bow user to use it, so. Worker 7, 0 faith. Yes, that would be sweet. You can charm it. You can charm robots, just like you can decrease CT on robots. They're just gonna do their own thing, which is awesome in terms of lore and in terms of gameplay. That's why when we did that stupid death machine, I made sure people understood that you can decrease CT on that bad boy. He's just gonna keep messing you up because he's a machine. Yes, Quack, I think you make a good point. Like, I know someone said that they're gonna farm so many like different things, but when they actually start doing it, they realize it's not worth it. I always advise people to just take your time, man. Just do as much farming that you can, and then when the rerun comes, you can finish it. You don't. What do you need a +5 at the moment it comes out? Like, right? Like, if you look at the numbers, no unit in this game deals 99999 damage. It's not like this is not like one of those Final Fantasies where that happens. There are charm weapons. Phoenix Bow has charm. I'm trying to figure out, is there a gun that charms? I'm pretty sure I can't max LB Mustadio. I just maxed my Mustadio. Not just, I actually maxed him many days ago. But I decided to fully finish him off today. I spent the rest of my rainbows to get him because, man, he's so cool. He looks cool, he looks badass. And he has a gun, he's running around like shooting people and turning them into stones and stuff. Now I just need to work on him in terms of faith and getting all his efficiency up. The gun aspect is easy to get his efficiency up because when I farm, I just let him shoot things, right? He automatically increases that. But he needs to take hits in order to equip better gear, which that is hard to do. That is very hard to do. On auto anyways. I guess I can throw that card, Bow Love on him, and have him draw hate, but then he'll just die in some places. It does, but he's one of my favorite units of all time, you know, my favorite character. So for me, I have to do it. But quite honestly, like, I have so many units now, it's like, if I don't build every unit, I'm not worried about it. I think people say the sweet spot is 70. It's kind of like how if you look at your barrack, it only goes up to 70, right? Many people say that's a good stopping point for a lot of units in the game because you don't take as much damage from magical attacks, and then you can have a decent chance to apply your debuffs, whatever. But if you think about it, there are many units in the game, such as Shadowling. No matter what faith you have her at, she'll die to magic hits. So it's actually better just to get her to 97, because you're gonna die either way, right? And if you're relying on dodge, it's a gamble either way. So you might as well get her faith really high, so you can do that the stop move. You can just stop them because the higher faith, the better chance, right? So I think that makes sense from a strategic standpoint. Hey Juan, how you doing? I like your name, Juan Pablo Bastard. I hope Bastard is not a Spanish name, because I don't know enough about Spanish names to say that is a real name. But cool name nevertheless, if that's your name. But if it's not, then at least you're creative with your names. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I don't believe we have met. I know I met many Juans in my life in this chat, but I don't know that, I don't recognize that name. Correct. And I stopped leveling Mustadio by spending gems. I think I probably only spent maybe 1,000-ish, because the Chocobo keeps giving me shards, like giving me so many shards. I think I just kept buying shards from the Whimsy, like the 3-piece. So that's what, 90 shards. So I just kept buying that. I probably bought like 10 of those. Actually, I lied. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe I spent like 1,500. But I realized Chocobo was giving me so many. Right now, I keep getting so many Mustadio shards. I kind of wish I stopped. Like, honestly, I wish I stopped spending gems on that. Lesson learned, right? Exactly, Kyle. I think that's a valid point, because if your unit's gonna get killed by guaranteed hits anyways, like Holy's just gonna boom one shot you, right? So might as well go full faith and have a chance to boom, like, you know, screw them over when it's your turn. Okay, yeah, exactly, Juan. I didn't want to assume, right? One, I didn't want to assume that's a real legitimate name or not, and two, if it wasn't, I didn't want to, like, you know, say mean things or anything. But yes, I always learn things. And different cultures have different things that we all need to appreciate and learn, so there you go. By the way, I did take French, so I didn't know that bad. I probably said the name wrong anyways, excuse me. That's part of the American shittiness of me. You kind of just assume everything is pronounced your way. I try to avoid that, so. Basta, I assume that's how you would pronounce it. Because in French, you know, we do the R very, like, in Spanish too, I assume. You do the R very, like, highlighted. And that's kind of what I was referring to earlier, for those of you that are still in the stream, is that when they translate games, certain things have to be taken into account of, so to speak, like cultural shock or cultural acceptance, right? So like certain things from the Eastern cultures, if they translate it over to the Western cultures, they have to make tweaks and changes, not to offend people and shit like that. That's what America is all about. We're all about not offending people, but yet we're so quickly to screw other people over really fast, right? That's America for you, so. I think you're okay. Why don't they drop? I agree, man. Like, I'm waiting on one solid shard for my Ramza, and I've been waiting 2.5 days. None. And I've been using tickets every day, by the way. But as soon as that shard drops, I'm done. I no longer need to farm anything. Actually, I wouldn't mind keep farming because it gives me more rainbow medals. Let me check to see if I can collect. Still nothing. Let me check. Nope. If I can show you. Nah, it's hard to see in the camera. I learned my lesson. I got one Mustadio shard out of 60. I upgraded to 60, got one. It's not so bad. Oh well, it is what it is. But I'm pretty sure I'll get Ramza soon. I kind of want to visit Texas. Texas, man, it's kind of dangerous sometimes. I feel like I watch so many, like, you know, forensic files and shit. And maybe that's a terrible thing to say, but Texas got great barbecue though. For sure, they got a lot of good barbecue there. Cause cities, yeah, you're right. Like if you visit like the big cities in most countries, they're all the same. Oh, no doubt there, man. Seriously, that Warrior of Light, that was definitely, like, I'm gonna go out and say it. That was a fucking scam. I knew it was gonna be a scam. And I think some people who farmed it all the way for during the event, they got like 2 or 3 shards. What the hell are you gonna do with 2 or 3 shards? Because there's no other ways to get single shards in the game, so you ideally would be doing nothing with those 2 or 3 shards. And then you're wasting time not farming other magicites or materials, right? Well, this is how I look at it, right? Technically speaking, there is no safe areas. If somebody really wanted to go after your ass, not I'm saying they are going after you, but in general, like police can't stop crimes, right? All they can do is hope to capture someone if they did a horrible crime. If someone really want to see you dead, and they set their mind to it, and to do whatever it takes to take you out, it doesn't matter where you are. You know what I mean? So technically speaking, there is no real safe place per se. But there are places like my neighborhood, everybody has like literally 20 cameras. So like the other day, last week, I think, one more small refill and then I'm done, okay? 130 energy, so that's 5 runs. Then I have to call it quits. So I'm getting really hungry. But quick story before we end it, whatever. And by the way, thanks to all the people that have been hanging out with me during the entire duration of this stream. Quick story. So in my neighborhood, we do communications with each other through emails or whatever. And people uploaded a video from their cameras that this jackass was going around stealing other people's packages. And that's a big thing in America now, people stealing packages and shit. And this motherfucker was really nonchalant. He was just like walking up to people's shit and taking their packages. Of course, he's a dumbass apparently, not knowing the fact that my neighborhood, literally everybody has like 50 cameras out. Of course, they captured his dumbass so clear. His face is so clear. I guess apparently it was a really good camera. And he's in there grabbing the package, and boom, of course, they get this photo of him, send it to the police. They pick his ass up so fast. And he's going to jail, right? Because that's a felony. By the way, in America, if you steal people's mail, that's a felony charge. And what that means is that's punishable to be in prison for a very long time. So don't fuck with people's mail in America, apparently. Anyway, so my point is, if somebody wanted to murder me or some shit, they can just break into my house and fuck me over. Me pressing, calling the police is not going to be fast enough for them to come and stop it, right? So really, there's no really safe places if people are being rude or terrible to try to harm others. All you can do is be just aware of your surroundings. That's all I can really think of. You just have to be very aware of your surroundings. And the other thing with Texas is that the people tend to have lots of guns and shit. And if the state laws usually protect people on their own property. So if you're fucking around on people's property, they can take you out, And in Florida, where I live, I don't think we have that law protecting us as citizens. So if somebody broke in my house and I shot them and I killed them, they can actually charge me with murder and shit, manslaughter or whatever. Which I think is fucked up. But it is what it is. But yeah, usually if you break into people's home, you can defend yourself, but not shoot to kill. I think the law is like, you have to use the same amount of force they're using, which I think is dumb. Like if some guy comes at me with an AK-47, does that mean I have to use an AK-47, or can I use something better? What if I use like a bazooka? A bazooka can kill them, but the thing is, it's not gonna be more force that's excessive to what they're using. If they come at me with a knife and I have a gun, I'm gonna fucking shoot. I'm not gonna stop. What the fuck, man? This guy gonna want to stab me to death. And believe you and me, it sucks to get stabbed more so than getting shot, because they can stab you repeatedly and they won't stop. You're gonna run out of bullets eventually. So I think if I was defending myself, I'm not gonna shoot to kill most likely, but I would definitely shoot to injure them severely so they can't escape, so the police can capture this dude or dudes or whatever. I think we just got really violent on the stream. But then again, come on, man. We're playing a game where we're walking around with swords and spears, and our whole objective is to slaughter the opponents and get loot from their bodies. So I think it's fair to say that games we play are pretty violent in its own right. But yes, if you do visit Texas, at least they have great barbecue. Other places that have good barbecue would be North Carolina has good barbecue. Memphis, Tennessee has good barbecue. I used to live in Missouri. They have really good barbecue there too. Florida, not really. Florida is more like heavily influenced by like Hispanic or Spanish or Hispanic food. A lot of good Cuban food, a lot of good Mexican food, and things like that. I guess Florida is more like more progressive state where they have more like different food from different ethnicities. Maybe it's the yeah, I agree. Singapore is definitely super safe. I can walk around middle of the night and go get whatever I want. And that's the other problem with living in the United States. The only thing we have to eat like middle of the night, unless you're stocking your own food pantry up with food, is just fast food, you know? But if you live in like those Asian countries, there are gonna always be places where you can get like really delicious food any time of the night. Yeah, I know. So I guess we do have a reason to keep farming so we can slaughter these armies of wolves and one-eyed nasty looking creatures to better arm ourselves so we can slaughter them even more efficiently going into the future. Yeah, you're right. But then again, I'm not gonna shoot his leg, dude. If he's coming at me with a knife, I'm just gonna shoot. You know, wherever it lands is wherever it lands. I'm not gonna aim for his face. I'm not gonna like overkill him. Like I'm not gonna shoot him and he's laying on the ground and I go up to him and I shoot him more times, right? That would definitely be excessive. And I think also if you shot them and then you reload it and you kept shooting while they're down, yeah, that would definitely be excessive. Yeah, definitely no legal advice, man. This country is built upon legal advice. Yeah, that's the other thing. One thing, oh man, I can't tell you. Like when I was in Hong Kong, right? The very first time I visited Hong Kong a few years ago, McDonald's was 24 hours, but they had chicken wings. Holy shit, it would be 3 in the morning. My fiance and I would be hungry. You know, we're staying in a hotel, we have no food. So we're like, let's go get some McDonald's. And I was like, man, it's fucking McDonald's, dude. Like, what's so good about it? They had these like fried chicken wings. I tell you, man, they were to die for. They were so good. 3 in the morning, I get some delicious chicken wings from McDonald's. And yes, the convenience stores in Asian countries are awesome. I haven't been to Europe, you know, like I haven't been to any European countries. I'm pretty sheltered in that sense. I've been to a lot of Asian countries. I've been to Canada. I've been to Mexico, but you know, that's on like cruise ships, so that doesn't really count. But the food in other countries, I think it's always better. Like street food, right? So good. Street food is so awesome. In Taiwan, I think I had the best street food in Taiwan. So much good food. I mean, they're not good for you, right? Because they're all like fat. They're either fat, sugar, or salt. 3 worst things you can eat, but you do a lot of walking around though. So I think that's how a lot of people kind of stay trimmer, because they have to do a lot of walking. Nothing going on in Canada. I mean, Canada's like America, right? Sharing a lot of the same vendors and stuff, so I can't really imagine it being different than United States, no matter where you go. I went to, I think, Toronto, maybe Quebec, something like that. I don't remember. That was when I was younger. But everything's the same. All the food I ate was the same. Yeah, exactly. Taiwan, the street food, they put... there's a lot of it is different variation of the same thing. But one thing I remember eating was the they call it small sausage inside of a big sausage, is a direct translation. I don't want to assume anyone's name in the chat. I see some potentially Chinese names, but I don't assume so. Anyways, it's basically a sausage, like a Chinese sausage that they put into like a rice sausage. So it's a sausage casing with rice, and then they cut that the rice casing in half so it looks like an American bun, and then you put the other sausage in so it looks like a hot dog. And you can put shit like garlic and hoisin sauce or chili sauce, whatever. So good, man. Oh man, I miss it. But one of my favorite things in Taiwan was they took a whole chicken, right? Like a chicken, like a small chicken, and they beat it or they pound it to the point where it's all flat. And then they deep fry it, and then they make you hold it like you're holding like a big ass cookie. And then you eat this whole chicken. The reason I knew is because there were bones and shit in it, and you just be gnawing on this whole chicken. Man, it was delicious. Okay, I don't know why I hit request, my bad. But it was so good, man. I couldn't stop eating it, and they add a little bit of chili powder on it. Oh man, I'm sorry. I know I'm starving right now, so as soon as my energy is burned, I am done. I'm gonna go offline and go enjoy me some food. Yeah, you had? Yeah, it's so good, right? It's like a whole chicken, I believe. I want to say it's a whole chicken because there was bones and stuff on the bottom part. You know where the rib cages is and stuff? You don't get that. And well, I guess if you fry a chicken, you do get rib cages. It's like KFC chicken except it's all flat. So it's so easy to eat. And it's so rewarding because you're just sitting there and you just, oh man, that was so good. And our hotel was right next to one of the biggest night markets in Taiwan. In Taipei, of course. So we were able to just walk around and eat all kinds of stuff. It was so good, man. Oh. I can't imagine being good for you though, because I know a lot of families, they eat street food for dinner and shit, and there's no vegetables and no fruits. So that cannot be good for you over time. But I guess if you're young, you're a teenager and you're in high school and you're growing and you're eating all this junk food, your body just gets rid of it easily anyways. But when you get older, that shit ain't good for you, man. By the way, I need to work on getting some new music, huh? You guys been listening to the same song for the last 2.5 hours, 3 hours. So I need to start working on my library a little bit. I need to have some sort of like shuffling system for better music, because I know this one guy, he does all this free music for streamers, but if I play it in the background on YouTube, then it will have commercials running, and to me that wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, I thought about Thailand, but yeah, it's I want to go to Vietnam too, because I have a friend. My old bosses from the restaurant that I used to work with, they're both Vietnamese, and I love Vietnamese food, man. Holy shit! I think the recipe stopped dropping. We just hit 38. All right, this is the last run, folks. Last run, and then we're shutting the stream off. So thanks to everybody for coming out. And those who are not here, still want to thank them because this video will be on YouTube for everyone to see. So I do want to thank everybody. And I want to thank everybody for the continuous support of this channel. Obviously, we just hit 400 subscribers. That's freaking awesome. So we're going to move to our next milestone, 500. And I think for 500, well, I'll probably do something. I'm not sure what I want to do yet. But originally I thought about doing something like a giveaway. But I know that always gets kind of complicated, so I'm not sure if that's going to be a thing. So we'll see how that goes. But if any of y'all have any suggestions, by the way, if any of you guys have suggestions, feel free to shoot me up on my business email. That's on my channel. All I gotta do is go to About, and then my email is there. Other ways to reach me, obviously you can go to Instagram and you can private message me there. But if you guys have any suggestions of terms of like what I could do to improve, or what I could do to give back to the community, just let me know. You know, I'm all ears all the time. Has restaurant quality food? Yes, that I know for a fact, man. The food in Vietnam is awesome. Thank you, Pan, for supporting. And I definitely want to. One thing I do want to expand in the future is I want to make a cooking channel for YouTube. Like, I think that's something I always wanted to do, because one of my passions in life is food. So I think it'd be important to share my ethnicity with the world, right? And I have a lot of family members and friends that are all from all across the globe. I have people from Sri Lanka, Madagascar, Vietnam, China, and of course, you know, Korea. I have people from all kinds of backgrounds as friends. They all love food too. And I think food is what gets people together, right? Besides games, obviously, nowadays. But I think making a cooking channel that highlights different ethnicities and maybe having guests and shit come onto the channel and cook stuff, that'd be something I really want to do. And I think at that point, hopefully I have more hardware to better equip my studios or whatever you want to call it to record better quality videos too. So something I want to do for sure. All right, folks, that is it for me. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Keep the farming going and enjoy yourselves for the rest of the week. And we'll see you guys in tomorrow's video, okay? I'm going offline now. Peace, guys.